Oh my stars! I do declare this is episode 28 of Not So Subtle, joined by my best mates, Cotter Potter.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, and Jordan Miller.
Hi.
And Dane LaPointe.
Oh.
We are here. I'm have a little bit of a shawl on. Long story short, we have this new. What do we got behind us, Coulter?
Well,
They can't
I don't
see.
know what we have behind us right now.
That's right.
I think we're going to be in an environment of some sort.
An environment. Okay. How was that environment created? We don't know.
We don't know.
But let's just say that I have to wear this shawl to make sure that I fit into the environment.
Otherwise, you'd blend in. You were wearing camouflage before.
That's right. What we should have is like a Siberian tundra, and this is I'm staying warm because of my shawl.
Fair.
But then Coulter and I look completely out of place without wearing our...
Well, I have kind of a little jacket.
Yeah, you have a little bit of a parka on. Jordan, you're real cold right now.
I'm
you're cold.
pretty chilly.
You're chilly.
I didn't wear a jacket out here in the tundra.
In the tundra. Now we have to be in a tundra.
We're in one.
We're in one right now.
Say the word and it's done. Actually, we won't say that because I actually have to make it happen.
That's true.
All right, Coulter, now...
I'm the keeper of the keys.
I want to be in a volcano.
keeper of the tundra.
I want to be in a volcano now.
Jordan, I
Maybe
want to
it did
be.
happen.
I want to be
Maybe.
on a beach, sipping a little umbrella drink.
Gin and juice.
We can't go that far, but...
Okay.
This is
guys,
a family cast.
That's right. This is Not So Subtle, the best podcast on the interwebs. If you're just tuning in for the first time, we talk about movies, video games, sometimes anime. Not really. We shouldn't advertise that.
You keep bringing that up, but we never do.
It's wishful thinking.
Okay.
Someday we'll talk about anime.
Anime corner.
One day.
And if you're not just tuning in and you've tuned in before, then you already know that. And you should know that we have a lot of talking to do about movies, such as the movie we pick out of a bag every week. This week was Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Great film. We also have a little bit of a dilemma that Coulter is bringing us regarding the interwebs, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken.
We have some video games to talk about.
Indeed.
Let's get started.
That's right.
That's right. Coulter, you have a dilemma.
Guys, I was, you know when you're trying to find a Vine that you really wanted to find, or anything on the internet that you were like, man, that was really funny.
We were just talking about this last night, so yes, I do know.
Yeah.
Yes,
so just to, I can explain this whole situation, actually. So there's this Vine that I think exists in which Nick Coletti does something real funny. Nick Coletti is a prolific Viner, friend of Getter, an EDM musician.
One might recognize him as the creator of Saw Dude.
Saw
Dude.
Now I know who you're talking about.
Right. Oh, Saw Dude.
Saw Dude.
Oh.
Yeah, so I believe there's a Vine, and it might not be from him. It might be from someone else, and I might be completely wrong. But I seem to remember a Vine where the song "You Got a Friend in Me" plays, and as we all know, the intro to that is, and then he's doing like a dance where he's like, but it's like actually funny and not cringy like that was.
Sure.
So yeah, I was looking really hard for that Vine, and then I just went down a rabbit hole because I couldn't find it right off the bat. I went on YouTube, and it's like, "You Got a Friend in Me," Nick Coletti should come up immediately. It didn't.
Well, because we were talking about this last night. You wanted to show me it, and you're like, okay, I'll find it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then you found like, everything but, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I resorted to, I was like, it must be in one of these Vine collections. So there were a couple like 10-minute compilations of his Vines, and so I watched one full one from beginning to end. It was like 11 minutes long, and it was not in there.
And that's a lot of Vines.
That's a lot of Vines.
Because they're like they can only be as long as 6 seconds or shorter.
That's right. A full 6 seconds. So basically till the 7 marker. Mm-hmm. That's right. So
that's right.
Yeah. I watched a full one, didn't find it, and then I was looking all around, trying to find. I don't know. Excuse me.
Siri literally thought that I said his name. I didn't.
Siri.
Turn Siri off.
Yeah, so I was watching through the whole thing, didn't find it, so I took drastic measures, and I hit all of Nick Coletti's Vines. There's one
video?
There is one video that contains all of his Vines. It's 3 hours long.
Oh my lord.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Did you
if
find
you're
the
waiting
Vine?
for me to say it, I didn't. And I didn't find the Vine. So I was just really sad. I resorted to, okay, maybe I can find my Vine profile and then I can look at my likes somehow, maybe.
No way.
Yeah.
And so you can like get to your profile, and there's only anything there if you chose to save it like before Vine died. So there's nothing there for me, even though I made a couple Vines. And there's no way to look at your likes. I looked it up on Google, and there's a Reddit post where it's like you can look at your likes by hitting, user Coulter/likes or something like that. And then I typed that in, and it doesn't work. And then I looked farther down on the Reddit thread. It's like, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Damn it.
So there's just, as far as I know, there's no way. If anyone can tell me how to find my likes from my profile, please let me know at it's.
We'll rewind
You know what? Just don't let me.
We'll rewind a little.
Just
All
don't
right,
tell
go
me.
Let me know at it's not so subtle at gmail.com.
There you go.
Okay.
Or Twitter.
So yeah, my question to you guys is, have you ever seen something on the internet and then gone to find it and it wasn't there?
I can't
Jeez.
recall like a specific instance of that.
Guess what? I don't recall.
I don't recall.
Guess
Although
what?
the same kind of thing happened like a couple weeks ago. I think I was talking to you guys about like a book I had read when I was in elementary school.
Oh.
I didn't remember the name. I was like, oh, I
remember that.
know like this specific thing happened. So I'll just type that into Google, and eventually it's possible to find it, but it takes a lot of digging. Like if you are trying to find something that you're not quite sure of on the internet, it can be almost impossible unless you know like the one thing to do it.
Yeah, because
And especially in Vine, if it's destroyed, like how are you gonna find something on
Yeah.
that?
the problem is that with the internet, you just think you take it for granted to a certain extent, where you're just like, yeah, I mean, I read that book exists, like I'll be able to find
Yeah.
that, but then you realize that you're searching for like through the entirety of everything that has
Yeah.
ever existed, essentially. It's like kind
Like
of.
it's not like I need a website that literally just knows every line in a book or something. I can just like start typing in the keywords and it'll figure it out. But Google just it goes through everything. So I'm just getting like these ridiculous results of things I don't want to see.
Yeah.
but it's related to what I was
You
looking
can.
at.
I've done that with songs before, where I know one, not even
Yeah.
one full verse. I just know like one, maybe 4 words. or
That kind of
something,
works,
and then
though, for
like
some of them.
okay, like blah 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 blah.
Shorty,
and then
I can-
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, or like
And then it takes you to
Anything.
lyricgenius.com.
yeah, and you're like, damn, this is the song, and you have no idea what the artist is. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what the name is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of.
Coulter, are you sure that you didn't just incept yourself and you've actually never seen this video and you just made it up in your head?
Damn, that's deep.
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. It could have been in a different format than what I think. Like, it could have been from a video.
I feel like I've seen vines with that song before, but not with how you described it. Like
You've
that's a
Got
pretty
Friend in
popular
Me-
song.
You've Got a Friend in Me Vine.
Yes.
And nothing.
There are a
fancy.
couple vines that contain that song. Not.
I
the
also
one
looked
said.
up Nick Coletti Toy Story song and like
didn't
Toy
find
Story song Vine and like a bunch of different things where I was like, okay, let's like break it down in different
yeah.
ways.
I guess I
But it
should have
didn't- it
thought of
didn't-
Toy Story.
Yeah.
'Cause he could have just written Toy Story or something like that. He probably didn't write like any caption that relates to the song at all.
No, I don't think he did. But I was thinking like if someone had reposted it, it could be like,
Yeah.
what song
Oh,
is this?
yeah,
And then they'd be
maybe.
like, oh, it's from Toy Story, and then they would like come up from the comments or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, you gotta like reverse engineer to like get to these things sometimes.
yeah. I'm trying to think if I've tried to search for something that isn't there. I don't know. Oh, there was a while back on. Actually, this has happened mostly on Facebook, so it's not really. I guess it's kind of the same thing, but like where I wanted to find a post or like a comment from someone that I remember, like on a specific post, and then Facebook is really creepy because you can type in like someone's name, like if they were talking about like, I don't know, like the beach or something, you could type in like, so-and-so's name beach or like so-and-so's name like water or something like that,
And it
and
just
you can
somehow
just like
knows
find
that.
like some weird shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's actually kind of creepy. Or if it's like people that were together in the post, you can just type in their names like back to back, and it'll just find all posts ever with those two people, and then you can just dig through like someone's personal history, especially if
That's
you're friends
right.
with them, because you can find stuff going back to whenever you were friends with them, which is super creepy. And I've actually tried to do that before, but not for like creepy purposes. It was like definitely not for creepy purposes. It was for like
Science.
for
Jokes.
science, for like notes that I've posted before. I was trying to figure out how to get to the fucking notes on Facebook because it doesn't there's no notes tab anymore.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know, things like that. Like that would be my only example, I think. That is an interesting thought, though.
You know, like Flash videos from when we were like little baboos. Do you think? Or like
a lot of those
even
have been
games,
immortalized.
like Flash games. I guess yeah, a lot
Like
of those.
a lot of those videos have been like reposted endlessly.
Yeah.
Like you could find the peanut butter jelly time thing on YouTube,
Yeah.
like 4 million videos.
Good luck not finding.
Yeah. Or like the like angry strawberry or whatever it is, or the is that what it is?
Something like that.
Classic goof.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like
Anything from albino black sheep.
Yeah, anything from Newgrounds, like most of the Newgrounds stuff. That Papa Smurf thing, you can find that. Like
Shout it out.
Hey, Papa Smurf, let me lick that ass.
Oh no.
Whoa. And now you'll see the video, right?
Oh
And
my gosh.
Let's go,
Wow.
dude. Papa Smurf is licking my ass right now.
Whoa.
Let's not guarantee that we're going to see every single thing we talk about
That's
just
true.
right now
That's true.
because that's going to be significant.
It's gonna be a nightmare.
Especially that one. Please don't post that.
Lols.
That her butt is going to be right behind my face, so they won't be able to see it.
And you'll just
Okay,
be
good.
like,
So, nothing to see here. Dude,
dude,
are you
Siri?
kidding me?
Siri.
I'm not clicking anything. That has to be Siri.
What's the Siri male name? There should be a different male name.
It's Siri.
I mean, there doesn't have to be, but
I'm
I
pretty
would
sure
like
it's
there to be.
Cicero.
Cicero.
That's true.
Simon.
It's Cicero. Simon.
Simon says.
Does
That's
it just
how you-
activate whenever it thinks it hears Siri?
Yeah, and on this phone you can hold down the power button, but there's no way that's happening.
Alright, man.
There's no way.
It's listening to you at all times.
It might be, not unlike the Amazon Echo, or whatever.
Or
it is.
your regular iPhone.
Or all of our computers.
Yeah. It's
Any
actually true.
microphone is listening at all times. We're just getting higher and higher quality microphones for
That's
them
right.
to hear
Now
us.
they hear everything in crisp Blue Yeti quality.
Yes.
That's right.
Affiliate link in the doobly-doo.
Was that your dilemma? Was that your only dilemma with the internet?
Pretty much.
There has to be another dilemma that
Your only dilemma
with the
with the
internet.
That's the only one I can think of.
Man, sometimes you want to find some stuff, and
It's hard.
And you can't find it.
typically you can find anything you want. That's why it's
Look,
annoying.
I think this is the true definition of a first world problem.
Wait, hold on. Was it with you guys that we wanted to find a flesh-colored Jabba the Hutt?
No.
Ugh.
I think it was with my brother. Like, for some reason, we were like,
That's so
I wonder what a
gross.
flesh-colored Jabba the Hutt would look like. And then, like, we were like, that has to be, like, drawn somewhere
Someone
on the
put
internet
that
or
on
something.
DeviantArt
Yeah,
already.
DeviantArt, yeah. So I think we looked it up, and it was, like, kind of hard to find, but I
you
think
find
I think there may have been something at least really close. Because there's anthropomorphized Jabba the Hutt for sure, like just a guy that has
Sure.
some
Hot
of the-
Jabba.
Sexy Jabba. Is there a slave
Bava.
Is there a slave Jabba wearing
hun-
Slave Leia's outfit?
100%.
1,000%.
Yeah, there has to be.
Ugh.
All
I'm
right.
getting chills.
What's your
thinking about
favorite Star Wars character?
it. Luke Skywalker.
He's your damn idol.
Yeah.
Favorite Star Wars character, man.
What's your favorite obscure Star Wars character?
Darth
I-
Revan from the Code
Okay,
Wars
well
series.
that's not fair.
You
He's a Sith Lord.
Maz
so
Kanata. No.
was a Sith Lord.
I don't know anything about him. He looks lit.
That's the thing about KOTOR is you can make that decision yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fascinating.
I saw a picture of
geez,
like
I
a
don't know.
white, like a light side Revan type dude, and he looked really cool.
Are you okay?
He looked really cool.
Revan is a cool looking. His mask is cool.
Lit.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
I don't know any obscure Star Wars
I
characters.
don't know any Star Wars characters.
Nien Nunb. All right, guys.
Got him.
I think we're done here
That's right.
with Nien.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nien
Okay, Pablo.
Done.
R.I.P. Nien Numd.
He's still alive.
He's still
Not to
a
me.
fucking live.
Not to me.
Wow.
Not to you. Why
I
not?
don't know.
Yeah. Why? That's. No. Let's go into it.
Look, he wasn't featured in The Last Jedi that much, and I feel like he's dead to me. Star
He
Wars
should have
is
had
dead to
a
me.
starring role in The Last Jedi.
He should have saved Finn and
Look,
then been like,
we spent like an hour on fucking Canto Bite.
Yeah.
Just- Where was Nien Nunb? Why
Stuck
didn't
on
he
the
come
ship.
and help them?
He was playing video games, like chilling, like
He was just chilling out.
I'm just hanging out here.
It's like what? I don't.
That's how he sounds.
I'm not going to
Look,
Canto
wait,
Bite.
I would have rather watched Nien Nunb, but like polish. I don't know, like fill up his spaceship and like
Yeah, with
like polish
jet
his
fuel.
wings on the ship or something than watch the whole thing of Canto Bite.
Yeah, we don't.
I would watch Nien Nun do anything.
I would watch him like just do the dishes, like I don't know, the normal stuff, chores.
As long as he laughs every once in a while. Then...
Is that a thing? Does he laugh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like after they destroy the Death Star.
Oh, that's
Lando
true.
goes, woo! And then Nien Nun is just like,
yeah, I do
like
remember
laughing kind of dumbly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, there's no way I can do that not dumbly. Yeah. It sounds really bad. It's like the interviewer that interviewed Justin Bieber, who had a funny laugh.
I like that laugh. Ha ha
Ha.
She didn't even have that weird of a laugh. She kind of did.
She did.
She did.
Let's be
Kinda
real.
She had a weird laugh,
It was
but
weird,
it didn't need to be pointed
Yeah,
out.
he didn't need to say that.
It's rude to
He's a
point it out.
savage.
It is. He's a total savage.
Which I feel bad saying that because Savage is being kind of killed by the likes of Logan Paul and whatnot. But
That's true. Savage, bro.
we're saying it ironically,
That's right.
satirically,
Guys.
ironically.
Coulter has more dilemmas with the internet that will be coming on more episodes in the future.
Oh, I'll have an internet dilemma before too long.
Yeah.
Maybe before the end of this episode.
That's right.
You don't know. That's right.
You just never know.
Guys, every week, we pull a goddamn film out of a bag. It could be, we don't know what it's going to be. It could be a lot of different movies. We're up to like maybe around 30. We might be under 30 at this point. I don't know.
Possible. I haven't counted.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna
That's
go
not
with,
going to help
I'm
that.
going to go with somewhere in the realm of 30 left.
seems right.
Pretty confident on that. And we pick it out. We tell you what we picked. You have a week to watch it. We watch it too. And then we review it. And this week, or rather last week, we pulled Children of Men's. And this week we watched it. Not too long ago, actually. And we're here to talk about
Did
it.
I miss you saying the name of the list?
The Wacky Film List.
That's right.
That's right. We won't talk about why it's called the Wacky Film List because it seems to be a sore spot for some people here.
No, I can. I like to expose
So
which parties are involved.
So
Namely, not me.
I like Wacky Wednesday
All right.
and the Wacky Film
We
List.
came to a
I'm
decision
on
to
board
call
with
it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to do this whole thing on Wednesday. Thus, it only makes sense that we would make a name for that day.
There's no other like W
Wild
words.
Wednesday? No.
No, that's
please.
dumb.
No.
I'm not trying to get wild.
Wet Wednesday?
Absolutely
We're
not.
not. This isn't a college bar, so no, we're not doing that. Wacky Wednesday?
Yeah, it'll get a little wacky.
Wet Wednesday.
W-
Wet.
Waxy Wednesday.
Wanker.
Weird Wednesday? We're not that weird. We're
We're
normal
not
people.
that weird.
We're not that weird. So Wacky Wednesday it is. Guys, we watched Children of Men. Someone set up this movie for us. Jordan, set up the movie, damn it.
Children of Men, which I may have mistakenly called Children of Man multiple times because of the
Because we used it
running
as a
joke.
verb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
but
still doesn't make sense.
this movie starts out a little bit in the middle of things. There's not a lot of backdrop to the movie, which I kind of enjoyed, but it starts out with Clive Owen, whose character I think his name is Theo. In a bar or a coffee shop or something. You know something's immediately wrong when the baby Diego, as they are showing on the news, dies. He's not a baby. He's an 18-year-old adult, but he's the youngest person left on planet Earth.
That's right.
The youngest boy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Some sort of mysterious something or other. It's not explained. Not a lot of this movie is explained, but women
it's inferred.
Yeah, women in this setting are infertile.
That's
And
right.
For
no
around
children. 18 years.
18
So
years?
from 2009 in the movie, but it takes place in 2027. So
That's right.
So for 18
Oh,
years,
right, because he was the last baby born
Yeah.
in 2009. Yeah.
Baby boy.
The baby boy.
no more babies were being birthed.
Mm-hmm.
But they were attempting to, but something just not happening there. So
Mm-hmm.
stories of him escorting the first pregnant woman in.
Spoiler.
You've seen the movie. People have seen.
I
the
have.
movie. First pregnant woman in 18 years to attempt to bring her to safety. Hijinks ensue.
I
As they
predicted
always
it was pretty obvious that she was pregnant, or at least there is something special about her other than whatever the first setup was. What was the first setup? That she's just like a person. They didn't like explain.
They didn't
it.
say.
Yeah.
They were
The
just
first-
like, she
I
needs to be
think-
taken to the coast.
Yeah, I think maybe we were supposed to, because they had spoken about taking her to the Human Project, but maybe we were supposed to assume that they were going to do like tests on her or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know.
Yeah.
But
Nothing.
They didn't
not-
explain.
Yeah, not a lot is explained. It's just you are supposed to take things as is
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, which
it starts in media res.
starts off with a bang.
That's true.
One might say, because it just straight up starts with an explosion, which kind of, I feel like that sets the tone for the movie a little bit when you're like, this is like a weird, like, semi, like, dystopian future, and then just immediately a terrorist, like, bomb goes off. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I like how gritty this movie is.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Coulter, you're the only one who hadn't seen this movie before, right?
That's right.
I had seen it a few years ago. More than a few years ago at this point, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I didn't remember all that much of it. I do remember the iconic Children of Man scene and some other exciting ones, but I didn't remember a lot of the just like plot points and kind of the characters, so it was kind of refreshing to see it again. But I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I do like the setup for the world, even though the setup is basically there's no setup. You're just kind of left to infer what's happening, and I think that's kind of cool just because it adds a layer of like intrigue to the movie where it's like something is not right in this world, and like you keep seeing flashes of like oh, like every like country except for England basically is just trashed, and a bunch of people are trying to immigrate in there, and just it's an interesting setup for a movie. I thought,
and it also is surprisingly relevant for the times. There's a lot of themes of immigration fears and I guess sort of racism to a certain extent. It's more like xenophobia than it is like outright racism, but there is it's surprisingly politically and societally relevant.
Prescient.
It's prescient.
Very prescient.
Precedent. Trump.
Very precedent.
I have some things to say about it, but Coulter, you had not seen this movie before, like Jordan mentioned. What were your thoughts going in? Did you know anything about the movie going in?
No, I didn't know that it was like a dystopian situation where like babies weren't being born. Basically the hook of the movie. Yeah, I thought it would be like a war type situation, which it kind of is, but it's not about like soldiers or anything like that. So most of what I thought about it was like the gimmicks of it, or like the style of it was kind of, you know, what you think about most, or what I like thought about most, because the story was pretty straightforward, and it was kind of hard a little bit to understand exactly what was happening because they didn't explain anything, like you said. But it was kind of like documentary a little bit, just because the camera was so shaky and
the
it was
way
like
it's filmed
with them the whole time.
Like straight up, you can tell that the person with the camera is just following the
Like running,
everyone around, and that adds a lot. And like to me, at least, in some of like the action scenes where it's like it feels like you're like watching a war movie or like a documentary or something like that, because it's just like everything is just so chaotic. But it certainly has a style to it, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm not a huge... I don't love like the shaky cam style, and it's kind of similar to like a Bourne movie in that it's like the camera is never just like on a tripod or something.
There's
like
definitely parts to me where I was like, this is getting a bit much. Like like one scene in particular is, I think they're like going to an elementary school or something, and like the camera is just like panning to these pictures, and it's so fucking wobbly. It's just like, okay, like
there's some things that you need to show
to
me.
do it. Like you don't have to shaky cam it. Like just put it on a tripod and look at that. Like nothing's happening. There's no action in that scene. It's like, okay, but I don't know. I think it adds to the action, but the other parts it is unnecessary, I feel like. But
it's the British part of it, like the fact that it's in England and stuff like that. It adds a layer of like something I'm not familiar with. Not necessarily like, oh, this is foreign, but like it's just different. The tone is a little bit different because of that, which is fine. I mean, it's not... I wasn't drawn to it. I wasn't detracting, or it didn't detract from my enjoyment. But I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit of what's that movie where the aliens come down and they're
District
living...
9?
Yeah. A little bit like District 9, just because there's like war-torn like slums and stuff like that.
Some of the same themes too.
But I honestly liked District 9 a fair amount more than I liked this. Just because...
That is a classic film.
It was... On the scale of art movie, it was a little bit higher on the scale than District 9. I, as a dummy, I would have liked things to be explained to me a little bit more. No.
Yeah.
It's not even that I think I'm a dummy or something like that. It's not that I think I'm the smartest man on earth.
The movie is intentionally vague.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
On second viewing, like, knowing the general, like, premise and what is, like, mostly going to happen, it kind of helped me, like, okay, like, now I know why they're going here. Now I know just, like, the setup for these characters and stuff like that. But the first time I watched it, I was in the same boat. I was like, I don't really understand, like, where they're going or why they're going here. But, like, watching it again, like, okay, well...
And you have more time to, like, observe the surroundings, and, like, there's a lot of, like, newspaper clippings and, like, little flashes of things on the TV and, like, broadcasted, like, things over, like, the radio and stuff. So
I feel like one of the things when I talk about, like, art movies is that they're more interested in you being part of the experience than, like, telling you a story. Like, it's more about the style and what we see on screen and how, you know, people are looking and stuff like that than it is about what's happening in the story. And I kind of prefer it when, like, the story takes the focus and, like, more concrete things happen story-wise. So, yeah.
I think for me, like, a lot of the reasons I like this movie a lot and, like, movies like Apocalypse Now and some of those other ones is, like, the story itself is not really, like, the point. Like, the A to B story, like, or A to end of the story is not really, like, what interests me. It's just, like the things that the characters are doing, the world building that it does is, like, interesting to me. It's like, okay, they've set up a really interesting world here and, like, do enough to flesh it out a little bit where I'm like, oh, cool, like, this dystopic, like, UK place, like, they don't go into it that much, but you get to see glimpses of, like, their weird technology they use and kind of just, like, this dystopic, like, cars that they drive around, and, like, it's not so far flung into the future that they're like flying cars. It's like, oh, this looks like what we are gonna have, like, now, like, basically, like, it's just a cool thing like that. And so, like, that's interesting to me is, like, just the themes and stuff like that they touch upon. I think
Pretty realistic.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's gritty. Like,
it's
that
very
movie
gritty.
is, like, gritty and just
it's dimly lit.
heavy.
Like, it's, or not dimly lit, but, like, the color palette is lots of, like, browns and grays and blacks, and, like, it's very, like, it's super, like, very raw, which I really enjoy. With the shaky cam that you guys were mentioning, I actually thought this was some of the better shaky cam, I guess. I don't really even want to call it shaky cam, because even I like the Bourne movies a lot, but those are pretty guilty of shaky cam in the action sequences with, like, lots of quick cuts and, like, ridiculous camera movements
that's
where
like
you're
at the far end of the spectrum.
Yeah, where you're watching it and you're just like, oh my god, this is, like, they just cut, like the, you know, we always make fun of Taken, like, with, like, 6 cuts of him jumping a fence or something like that. It's just ridiculous. But with this, like, I feel like it is shaky in the sense that, like, the camera is just, it's not ever mounted on anything really. It might, I think at some points it's a little smoother than others, like in the car sequence and a few other, like, building scenes, but most of the time when there's action on screen, it's, like, everything is very in camera. Like, there's a lot of real, like explosions and people running around, like, shooting, and, like, tons of extras and stuff like that, but the camera is always focused on what's happening. It's never like you're trying to, like, you know, wrestle the camera and be like, what the fuck is happening on screen? Like, you always see it. It's just the fact that the camera is so, like, it's like a part of you. You feel like you're, like, the one holding the camera, essentially. So you're kind of there, like, following them, or like, there's a lot of one takes in this movie, like the infamous Children of Manning screen that we always talk about in, like, PUBG or whatever, where they're in the car and the roadblock happens and then all the people just run down the hill. Like, what do you think of that scene?
I thought that was a really well done scene, because I didn't know that it was going to be, like, a full, like, group of people that came down and, like, an avalanche of, like,
just tons of
people just throwing stuff and stuff like that. So that was really cool. But I mean, I expected it because we've talked about it so much.
That's true.
But yeah, I thought the other things that happen in that scene are pretty exciting because it's very intense.
Mm-hmm. And it is just, like, I forget how
anything can happen.
Yeah, I forget. That was, like, an actual big ordeal for when they filmed it, because they had to, like, cut out a piece of the car or something like that. Like, they did some, like, weird-ass thing, because basically the camera is inside the car, just constantly moving in a circle, like, around the entire car while it's moving, and there's, like, shit happening, like, people on, like, motorcycles and just ridiculous stuff. So there's like a whole behind the scenes featurette on the Blu-ray, I think, of just that scene, and it's like 20 minutes long, so it's like the craziest thing ever. But then also like at the end when they're in the war zone, that entire sequence of him like after they meet up with I don't know the guy's name, the Chiwetel Ejiofor, like when the resistance group, what's his name?
Luke.
Oh yeah. So he meets up with them in the city, and then the whole sequence of him trying to get to the baby and to the mom and the baby, like that whole sequence is just one take, like through that city. Like, that's where it gets crazy because like the camera is right behind like the corner of the wall, and it is kind of moving around a little bit, but you see like tanks rolling by, and like there's a lot of stuff actually happening that you can clearly see. It's just it feels a little more like visceral, I guess, because it's like unpredictable, and the camera reacts to
it feels like you're the person there, like when he's like running from cover to cover, like the camera is shaking, and like you can just tell like there's a dude with a camera behind him just doing the same actions as him. Like that's like those scenes, like the children of man scene where they do the roadblock, and the war zone scene at the end, like those are like really impressive, just like these huge like sweeping, just like incredibly long shots are just like it's ridiculous to see it like happening all at once, because it is an incredibly long scene. It's very long. There's lots of moving pieces, like actual moving like vehicles. There's a lot of people, explosions going off. It's crazy, and
there's no music. It's just like very, I don't know, there's like a lot of this movie is just very just in your face and very gritty and visceral and raw, and it's a very gripping experience. I would say it's at some parts it's a little style over substance. Kind of. I hesitate to say that because I think they do a really good job at building the world and like the little I don't know, like it is kind of like Blade Runner-esque where you hear people announcing things like, oh, everyone must report to blah blah blah, blah, like district whatever, and like the whole, I guess the whole theme of like the immigration and like people being herded up and everything is a little more extreme than something like Blade Runner, but the whole like the representation of the government and like how there's like this uprising of people, like a rebel group essentially trying to take down the government and stuff like that, like all that stuff was super interesting to me.
I like just like the darkly like authoritarian like overtones of just like when they're like looking at the like they escape to a farmhouse or whatever, and like there's a news story like, oh, these 4 terrorists escaped, but like the police were tracking them, and like they're driving through a forest and there's just cameras everywhere like tracking them as they go. It's just like, okay, like everywhere is being watched. Like you see something like that, or like the weird like advertisements for like these just suicide like water or like pills that people can drink. Just like this is just like dark, but like somehow in this world like they accept it and it makes sense, and it's just
well because there's no one's being born, like all the schools are like, that was really interesting when they go into the school, like an elementary school, and it's like ivy is growing in there, there's like a deer that runs by, and you're like, okay, well that kind of makes sense because kids,
I didn't even think about that.
Like I didn't even think about that either. Like kids, there are no kids, so there's no school, there's no education system, like all that stuff.
This is Jordan's
weird.
perfect world. Did we already say that?
No more kids. Grow up, everybody.
No more Pixar movies.
There's no more.
No one's being dragged to the theater to please
wild.
their kid.
I do wonder what that world would be like. There'd be so many R-rated films.
That's right. It's just so strange.
There's no more rating system.
And like, it's so weird because you always, it's like right at the beginning of the movie, before you even see like the first shot, it's just talking about Baby Diego. And like how cities are falling. Baby Diego. And all these cities are falling, and then you see like the world's youngest person died today, and then you think to yourself like,
what does that mean?
That happens all the time. Like, what is that? Why is that important?
Like the world's youngest person is being born every second. Like
like nowadays you would see something if like an 115-year-old died, and it was like, oh my god, this is the oldest person ever. But then, like, I don't know, the way that they turn that kind of stuff on its head and make you think about like, oh, that would be so fucking weird. Like if a baby wasn't born in 20 years or whatever, like what would happen? So I just like how it feels because of the way it's filmed and because of the fact that the cars aren't like spaceships, and they're not cutting their food with like laser knives and like ridiculous like futuristic stuff. It's like a lot of it just looks real, and a lot of those cars and stuff are actually real. Like they just made real props and stuff. Makes it that much more believable. When you're watching it, you're like, okay, well, this is sort of like a world where I could see like this kind of stuff happening. So
I'm not like super into like Clive Owen's character that much. I don't know if he's like that interesting of a character, but I do think that I think the scenes with like the children of man, if you will.
The child of man.
Like that scene, like at the end through the apartment, and just like all those like moments are like that whole scene, like that whole Warzone scene, like ends with like the scene of the child being carried down the stairs and stuff like that is like a really cool like looking scene, and
that's
then,
a super powerful.
Yeah, and like everything just like stops, and then an explosion goes off and just like kicks right back into like high gear again.
Because like as soon as he's out of like the direct zone of fire,
Yeah.
They're like, well, let's just kill each other again.
Yeah. It's like that scene's like, oh, that's like a moving scene, and it's cool.
Yeah, I thought the ending was very powerful. There was a lot of debate about the ending.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Human Project... A couple questions. Do you think that she's being taken to safety? Do you think that the Human Project is real? And there was one other... I don't know, a lot of people are saying that, like, the boat that they get on at the end is, like, sort of, like, a symbol of, like an arc. Where, like, the last, like, bastion of society is, like the man who presumably is dead. We're led to believe he's dead. Man, woman, and child goes out on a boat, like, away from this, like, crumbling society, and then, like, is supposedly going to start anew, or, like, we're supposed to believe that, like, that baby is going to be, like, the future of humanity. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that think that maybe she wasn't being taken to safety, and maybe the Human Project doesn't exist, and it was just, like a... I don't know, like something to chase after, but there wasn't anything there.
That thing is like what you're asking is one of the things I just don't like. I don't want to like get into, because for any movie, it's just like, oh, like what is this thing? Like what is this thing?
To say the exact same
like
thing.
that movie ends in a way that is like, it doesn't have to be investigated. Like there doesn't have to be a lore like to the end. Like
no,
they've completed a story and it's finished like that. I don't want to have to like look at it and go like, oh, what is like the mystery, like the intrigue behind this? Like I get that in the world during the movie, but like that stuff that happens at the end, whatever I think, it doesn't matter. Like that's not what their vision was. You know, the movie ends the way they wanted it to.
No, yeah, and I like the end. I like that. I agree with all that. I like the ending and everything, but just it makes you kind of think. Like it presents you with that question.
Sure.
In the movie, it's like, wait, you've never talked to anyone from the Human Project? Like, you've never actually directly talked to them? It's like, no, we can only talk to them through a mirror. And it's like, so-and-so talks to, like, their brother's cousin's neighbor, and then she sends a text message and calls so-and-so who talks to Julian. And you're like, well, okay, like, is the Human Project... Like, where are they going? Who are they going to meet on this boat? So, I don't know, it's something that I've thought about a little bit. Especially after watching this movie and remembering how it ends, like, towards the beginning, or towards the, like, last 10 minutes, I was like... Oh, okay, I remember, like, where this is headed. And then I started to think, like, oh, man, I wonder, like, if... Like, I started questioning all those things, but it doesn't matter, but it is something that I think is presented to the audience in a very interesting way.
It's not that, like, I don't care about it, but it's just, like...
It ruins the...
Yeah, it's not that it's not like it annoys me or something like that, but, like, it's just, like, a thing that happens with almost every single movie that comes out, or every, like, piece of, like, media where it's like, oh, like, what is this, like, weird, like, fan theories? Like, it doesn't, like, not everything has to have, like, that underlying, like, deep subliminal, like, thing at the end. Like, it just ends, like, and it can just be left like that. Like, it doesn't have to, like, not everything has, like, some, like, special thing at the end. Like, it is what it is. And, like, yeah.
That's right.
I did really like, to get back really quickly to the ceasefire scene, as they call it. I think that moment was really important because the entire movie, it's just, like, a lot of dread and, like, a lot of violence and, like, hatred, and there's just, like, a lot of anger, and it's very dark. And then during that ceasefire scene, like, everyone on that, like, block, like, in the building especially, and coming out onto the street, everyone's like, holy shit, like, no one's seen a baby in 20 years. People who are literally just, like, moments before and soon to be moments after are just, like, blowing each other up with, like, explosives and, like, killing each other are like, holy shit, there's, like, this baby just chilling here. And then everyone just stops, and there's, like, it's silent. There's no dialogue outside of, like, there's no dialogue at all. It's just the singing, like, the song and everything. But I thought that moment was one of the better scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty powerful moment.
I enjoyed it a lot.
It's good shit. Well, we've set our pieces. I will say, this was directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Don't know why that's his name. Who did Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Gravity, Birdman.
No, that was Alfonso G. Iñárritu or whatever his name is.
Oh, that's right. But that's true. But the cinematographer that worked on this, Emmanuel Lubezki, has worked on those other movies as well. So he did. Birdman is famously the movie that looks like it's all one take, and Gravity has that like crazy 10-minute long opening uncut take and things like that. So I think this guy is a very gifted cinematographer.
Yeah.
And I think he's one to watch.
Oh,
he did The Revenant also.
I haven't seen The Revenant, but out of those movies that I've seen, which are most of the ones you mentioned, except for Birdman, this is definitely the one that I enjoy the most out of all of those. Like I like Gravity and Harry Potter, but this one is more technically impressive to me than any of those ones.
I do think the opening sequence of Gravity is pretty astounding, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I quite frankly don't remember it, but sure.
It's where she's moving through the spaceship.
Oh.
And everything's moving and spinning inside the spaceship, and there's a lot of twisting camera movements and weird ass shit. And then I think it carries up through the explosion, the first little accident on the ship, and then when it's spinning around and everything.
Oh, right.
So good stuff. What do we give it?
What do you give it?
I'm gonna give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. No, I'm gonna go. I never know whether I want to do decimals. I would probably give it a high 9, so a 9.5.
9.15.
9.78.
9.0.
No, I'll do a 9.5. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this movie. I've only ever seen it once before, so upon rewatching it, maybe twice. No, I think this is my second time watching it. Upon rewatching it, I appreciate its technical aspects, but I also think that there's a lot to be absorbed from the storyline and from the world that they present. So I think it's an important movie, and it's very prescient.
Indeed.
I think there's a lot of very relevant topics and themes to today's world, which is a little sad actually.
But honestly, the first thing that you hear over the when the movie starts is just a bunch of talk about immigration, how the government is trying to stop people immigrating to the country. I'm like, whoa. I don't remember this, but this is way more relevant than when I watched it 5-6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I was oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, but that's
it shouldn't be at all. But
so.
Sad that it is. But yeah, I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Colter, what do you think?
On my recommendation scale here, I'm gonna recommend it to anyone. No, I'm just kidding.
To anyone and
perfect
everyone.
film.
If you want to see a gritty, dark movie, one of the most, not darkest in what happens necessarily, but literally audio, visual, grit and dirt.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how he loses his shoes at several different points and has really bad shoe situations.
Yeah, he is walking through a war zone with missing one shoe.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure his foot is all bloodied up and shit.
It seems to be it might have some metaphorical meaning, but it's also just to make us feel uncomfortable and gross.
This dude's walking and just grab.
I mean, by the end of the movie, he's been through the ringer.
Yeah,
he's lost everyone he loves.
That's right. And so. Yeah, I recommend it to people that enjoy that sort of thing, or people that want a high caliber art film, a blockbuster art film set in a militaristic dystopian future with no babies. That's Jordan's dream.
No children at all.
No childs.
Youngest person is 18 years old. I will give this movie 1 child out of 1 child. It's a perfect film.
It's a perfect film. I was also going to say,
I'll say it's damn near close.
If you like a more straightforward movie, maybe don't. Maybe miss it.
Yeah.
I would, to piggyback on that a little bit, I would say, this isn't my scale, so I don't know why I'm doing this, but I would say if you like a movie that may potentially require or encourage multiple viewings, this could be a good one too, because I think there's a lot to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
Even on my second viewing, I felt like I was viewing certain scenes in a completely different lens because of things that I paid attention to more or less.
I don't necessarily think you have to, if you watch it once, you won't, have some sort of greater, realization watching it, but it does if you do watch it again, you're like, okay, this story makes slightly more sense. Like, it's a little bit more clear to pick up on things that are happening. But by itself, like, it is fine by itself.
It is also just super dense.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot of, like, even all the dialogue between the characters, you're kind of slowly realizing, like, oh, are they, like, do they know each other? Like, how do they know each other? Why do they know each other? Like, what's their relationship? Like, what happened back when? Like, why are they here? Like, and you hear about a lot of events that aren't explained until later in the movie. You hear about, like, a lot of things on the news and, like, newspaper clippings that, like, just flash by in certain scenes, and you're like, holy shit, like, that would be relevant because of blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, I think multiple viewings or a very, very careful first viewing, I think you could draw a lot more out of the film than what's immediately presented to you on the surface level.
Also, we didn't use these exact terms. It's very dense, to quote Rick McCallum, from the producer of episode 1 of Star Wars. A quote
How dare you.
He famously said when he was talking about how there's so much CGI. It's so dense. Every frame has a visual effect.
That movie is dense. Not in the good way.
Yeah.
That's
excuse
so
me, sir. I'm going to put my little
that's
leg
so
up here.
to hear.
Please don't touch me. Guys, we've done it.
That's right.
We finished.
Guys, we watched Children of Man.
We've had a baby.
Children of Men. We watched it.
We're with child.
We reviewed it. We all seemed to mostly enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll say also that I didn't dislike it.
Right.
I've said a lot of critical things, but
Sure.
I didn't dislike it.
Sure. And that's that. So stay tuned until the end of this episode where we will reach our hand. I will be reaching my hand in a big old bag. I will pull out a film. You'll have a week to watch it. Guys, we also talk about video games.
That's right.
On this
Oh, what about
podcast.
anime?
There's no anime to talk about.
Oh, man.
You didn't ask us if we saw any movies, first of all.
I'm not done yet, Colton. Jordan, do you have anime that you want to talk about? Do you have...
Oh, no.
Because it seemed like you're really eager to... Okay, so you were just interrupting me for no reason.
I want to get this off my chest. I have been severely lacking in my anime watching lately, mostly because...
I'm disappointed.
My free time is spent playing video games, so it's hard for me to find a lot of time to watch anime, though I would like to watch some new stuff that's been coming out. But I haven't.
Devilman Crybaby?
Sure, a lot of things I just slipped past, just didn't quite catch up on.
You bet. Guys, did you see any movies that you want to talk about?
No.
No? Okay, so...
No.
Another, just trying to hijack.
I do want to say real quick, though, that I probably will be seeing Coco tomorrow.
Cool.
So-
I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Wow,
At the theater?
That's right. With my matriarchal unit.
Nice. I was actually gonna... If I'm gonna watch that, it's a big if. I'm gonna wait till it comes out on the home videos. DVD.
Home video cassette.
DVD and VHS.
That's right.
I'm not. Right now, I've been doing... guys, I'm really hyped about the Oscars, so I've been going through... we will be able to watch most of the movies before the Oscars. The only ones that we might not be able to watch, if we don't catch them in theaters, is going to be 3 Billboards and Lady Bird. We can see... If you guys want to see Call Me By Your Name, we can see that as of the 27th. We can see The Disaster Artist, which is not for Best Picture, but for other things. We can see that on the 20th. February. This is all February. And then there's something coming out on the 13th, I think. So...
Wait, so those movies haven't even come out yet?
No, they have. But
On,
but a lot of these...
video cassette.
Yeah, on home video and VHS. And potentially, like vinyl record or something.
That classic video source.
But yeah. But there are, apparently AMC is saying that they're going to be releasing most or if not all of the Best Picture nominees in theaters. So I guess we could try to do that. I don't know. Shape of Water is still in theaters for sure.
Yeah.
And there's another one.
Now, what about the foreign language film?
No, I know
category?
you're really adamant on that, and we're gonna find a way to. Trust me, we're gonna find a way to watch those.
Okay.
I don't know what that way will
Serbian
be.
film.
That's right.
Always the number one.
So yeah, some of these we can watch in the comfort of our own homes. Some of them we'll probably have to venture to the theater.
Damn.
That's upsetting to the highest caliber.
That's too far
Just
for me.
kidding.
Do you guys have any that you... Are there any Best Picture nominees that you don't want to see or that you don't care about seeing?
Well, I don't know many of the plots.
I
won't look them up.
I
No,
couldn't
sure.
name a lot of them, but most of them, quite frankly, sound like Oscar bait to me, so I'm not that interested. Maybe like Shape of Water is really the only one I care about at this point.
Yeah, I really want to see
Maybe
that one.
is Lady Bird up there? I heard good things about that, but a lot of them, I don't know, like 3 billboards on the way to Wisconsin or whatever it's called. It's like it just sounds so boring. So
Really?
If you
I
watch
thought that one actually
If you
sounded
watch the
more
trailer for
interesting.
that, that's actually really... It looks funny.
okay,
It looks good.
Funny.
It looks... The trailer presented a lot of comedic aspects that I thought were
Interesting.
really funny.
I guess what I'm saying is don't name your movie like 40 words long. Like just trim it down a little bit. Like
That is a
18
mistake.
billboards on the way to the Mississippi.
Western Washington University.
Yeah, just slow your roll there, champs. And
It's like-
how about you give the title? Oh, actually, this reminds me. The new Purge movie actually got its first actual reveal. It's not The Purge: The Island anymore.
No, stop.
What is
It's
it?
The First Purge.
Okay. That's a better name.
That's stupid as fuck.
It's
What?
not though. The
It's actually about the first Purge.
Yeah, it's the prequel because I believe in the last one, the Purge was ended. This movie well, we don't know how it starts, but the poster is a white poster with a red hat that says the first Purge on it, as if it's
Like a MAGA hat?
yes, as
No.
if the
Oh,
first Purge,
no.
as if the first Purge was started. It says the start of a new tradition, which is implying that
Oh.
it started during Trump's.
They're capitalizing.
Yeah, so
Damn,
interesting.
that's-
Political move on their part. So
That's actually...
kind of fascinating, but
I like that.
yeah,
I'm a fan of that. That's ballsy.
it is. It's interesting.
I like that laugh.
It's coming out July 4th, so
Of course it is.
I mean,
Why
I'm
not-
seeing it. I
why
don't know
not-
about,
why
I don't know
not
about you
420?
guys.
I'll watch. It's a prequel, so I don't need to catch up on the other ones that I haven't
Look,
seen
if the
yet,
ticket is
but-
$69 and it comes out on 420, it would have been their day one.
Although, I have seen the first. I think I've seen 2 of the Purges. So
I've seen all of them now, and I hated
same.
every single one.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I-
I almost will not watch this
I feel
one.
like I heard they were mostly just like they're not excellent films, but they're good like popcorn.
I would say
thriller.
That's
what's,
right.
what's this last one? Purge.
Election year.
Okay, I would say that's almost abysmal.
Wow, I
Yeah.
honestly liked that movie a fair amount. And the end fight, oh my god, that was so sick.
Horrible.
I don't know how we can have such different opinions on that.
We should just
but-
put one of the Purge.
The
let's
Purge.
put
The Purge.
election year.
Okay, this is really quickly. I promise, very quickly. The reason I don't like the Purge movies is because they're everything that's wrong with action movies. They're not very creative.
They're not an action movie though.
They are. They're thrillers, but they're billed. This last one is billed as an action movie because the leading man is only in action movies.
Who? Ethan Hawke.
Frank
whatever his name is?
Grillo.
Frank Grillo,
Who,
he-
was Crossbones in Civil War.
Oh,
He
that guy
is
looks
just-
like Ethan Hawke. So
He is just
He's
like
sick.
He is just like action hero number
I might have
6.
seen that one.
Like,
So is Liam Neeson's, but I mean,
and
we
I don't watch
all
his
the-
movies
oh,
either.
okay.
So I just
Listen.
don't. I think it's just paint by the
You don't
numbers.
like,
It's paint by the
regular
numbers.
action
just
movies.
The Hollywood just bullshit. I just don't like it. I don't think they're very.
You're a
well,
hipster.
I don't think they're very well directed. They're very poorly acted.
Yeah, all right. Go watch 18 Billboards on the way to New York. Because
I will, and I'll be happy about it. I'll take 15 Call Me by Your Names before I'll watch The Purge, fucking Butthole Surfers or whatever it is.
I have no idea what 3 Billboards on the way to Mississippi or whatever it's called. I actually don't know the name anymore.
It's 3 billboards outside Missouri.
Ebbing,
outside
Missouri.
Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, that's too long. Who
I
cares?
almost forgot the title because of your hijinks.
Yeah, I honestly, the more I kept saying it, the less I remember the name. But I don't know what that movie's about. I don't know what Call Me by Your Name is about. But I feel like I'm more interested in the first Purge than I am in any of those.
Let's fucking
movies.
go.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is about a
It's a
mother
shit name.
whose daughter
Dane, we're not going to get into the plots
whose
of any of
daughter
these.
is murdered, and she puts up 3. They won't solve her murder after 7 months, so she puts up 3 billboards challenging the local police to solve the murder, and it's about how that sends shockwaves through the small town that they
That
live
sounds
in.
boring
Ebbing,
as all
Missouri.
hell. Can't wait to not see that.
It looks
movie.
good.
Can't wait to see the first Purge.
Let's fucking go.
I'm excited about all the Oscar movies. The only one that looks Oscar bait to me that I don't want to see is Darkest
All of them.
Hour, because I don't give a fuck.
Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of those movies
It's
are.
Gary Oldman playing Winston Churchill, and
Oh.
it's Winston Churchill being like, "We have to do stuff at war," and he's
I mean,
just
that's,
like,
his
that's
classic
interesting
line.
to me.
it just looks
It's something
fucking
about how he has to
stupid
like
as hell.
recognize Hitler at one point. He has to be like, "Do I recognize Hitler as something?"
as
I don't know.
as an enemy.
Yeah. I honestly don't know.
I
Please
believe-
don't crucify me.
I believe one of the key plot points is actually talking about Dunkirk, because Winston Churchill was he took office during Dunkirk, or close to Dunkirk or something like that.
They're actually discussing the film Dunkirk, and they're like, "Did you hear that sound?"
They have to ask Hitler if he also heard it.
Yeah, he's like, "Yes, I heard it."
That's
that was
a Hitler impersonation.
What the hell?
See, no, that was the demonized version of Hitler.
That's
that
Mecha
we all
Hitler.
know.
I hope it's
Mecha Hitler.
I hope it wasn't actual Hitler.
That's right.
I hope that was like Cabbage Patch Kid, like doll version of Hitler.
I don't know if they made that one.
I
that
think
one
it was
never
just
came
one
to
of the
States.
bosses from Cuphead.
About it, Shirley Brewing. That's what Winston Churchill said when he took office, when he realized that he was in deep water. Okay, well...
Speaking of video games.
World War II, it's a video game.
Speaking of Cuphead, I have one. I have a Cuphead.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I have a mug.
Guys,
ma'am.
Sometimes we play video games. Sometimes we talk about it. We might do that right now.
Let's go back to the Oscars. We got to finish that conversation.
No, there's
Okay,
nothing. There's nothing more to
didn't
say
discuss
because you're
foreign
just
language
gonna
films. Why would we skip
you're
it?
gonna slander the movies that I am interested in.
Can we please talk about foreign language films?
We're not gonna talk about that.
Okay.
And you can leave if you're gonna
We
ruin
don't
if you're gonna ruin my video game
If
segment.
we don't talk about that by the end of this podcast, so help me God.
Chekhov's foreign films. If they're mentioned halfway through the podcast, we sure as hell won't talk about it before the end. What have you guys been playing?
Just right out with it.
That's right. I mean, look.
I've been playing.
I
the
talked
least
about
out
this
of-
before. We play video games
That's right.
Don't shy
a
away
good
from it.
amount, and we talk about it a good amount on and off the podcast.
You just scared me. That's all.
You start
look. I thought you were ready.
I am.
Okay.
So I haven't really been playing anything new. A lot of new games have come out, which we're about to talk about.
That's right.
I wouldn't say a lot, but there's some big new releases.
I would say
That's
there's
right.
two heavy hitters.
That's right.
That's right.
That's a lot for me.
Yeah.
That is. It's a lot for
so-
me too.
That's right.
That's right.
I've been playing more PUBG. We've been having more success this week. We've gotten a couple second place finishes,
That's
me
right.
and Dane specifically, in duos.
That's right. We've been going in to a certain extent.
Yeah, we've been going in, but not to the end.
No. And sometimes when you abandon me in the middle of a firefight, look, there's
That's
not much
wrong.
I can do.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah, so one of them was I don't even know how to describe like the environment, but we're in kind of a warehouse, and then there's a little box that you can get behind.
Oh, yeah.
And Dane like hid between a box and a corner of a room, which was pretty sick.
It was ingenious.
It was well done.
Was this on the...
It's on Miramar.
Okay.
It's those little garages that are crumbled that have the crumbled roof, and then
That you
there's like
can get up.
in there. There's like a little step up that you
Yeah.
can sit on. So there's like a shipping container in there that what I initially thought of, because basically where we were, the circle was about to move, and this was right after we had both climbed on the roof and used our height advantage to
Gun down.
plot an
that.
ambush as people were running through the alleyway.
Yeah.
We were just
Like a little scat song there.
yeah, and so we just took these two men down. It was a 2-man squad. Just gun them down in the alleyway as soon as they walk out. And then I go into the garage, and I'm a little badly injured, and I was getting shot at by someone else. Who knows what's happening? Shit goes wild in the last, 10 people? 15? There was less than that.
Less than, yeah, it was like...
So it was 10, 8 people left, something like that, including us. So 6 other people, maybe. And
I'm sorry, are there 10 people including...
It's very important that we nail it down.
I feel like it's important because the circle is very small, and basically it's all coming to a head at this point.
Yes.
And I go into this garage, and there's a little shipping container diagonal against the wall, but it's at this weird angle, so I climb up on it. It's short enough for me to climb up on, off this barrel or something. And then I'm sitting up there, and I'm sitting in the corner, waiting to just train my gun on this entryway. But then I realize that it's not flush to the wall.
Yeah,
So
there's a little
basically,
triangle
there's
of
a
space.
very small triangle of space that I can't even move in, really. I can move
Yeah.
just to the right a little bit and just back to the left. And so I just jump into that little corner, and then I can basically, if I tilt, lean with my gun, I can see, outside the sliver over here, and then if I stand up, I can see, just over it. But they
you
can't
shoot?
No.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there, but I can see just over on the top of my screen, I can see outside the door. And so I'm Coulter, they're coming in. They're coming in.
So they somehow knew you were there. I think maybe you fired or something.
Well, because they came in and
know how they knew you
they
were
sat because it's really hard to explain without a visual, but the crate or the shipping container that I was sitting behind was not flush to the wall, but it was because of that. It was diagonal out towards like the entryway. So there's basically like another little triangle near the door and the shipping container where someone can sit, like right next to the doorway. So like there's only a little sliver of shipping container blocking me from the guy, but he was like sitting as far back as he could in that corner, and he was trying to like peek out, I think, at the guys who were up on the hill. But and then you were like around the corner, I think. So long story short, there's like a very small space separating the two of us, and I could just see him, so I start firing, and I hit him. But then he turns around, and he's like, where the fuck am I getting shot from? Because he's in a corner, and he realizes I'm
So
back
they go
there.
to investigate.
Yeah, and his friend comes in at the same time.
Yeah, so they're just like standing in front of the shipping container or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm gonna gun these men down, so I just end their career right there.
Sure.
And while, like, as I gun down the second man, I like run in, because it's like, oh, the battle's over, and then Dane's like, or right as I kill the last man, Dane says, I'm gonna try a risky strategy. Hold on. And then I run in, because it's like, okay, he saw that I killed him.
Yeah.
And then I run in, and Dane's like, no, get out, Colder. And so I run back out, and I know what he's doing at this point. He's throwing a grenade directly like upwards to bounce off like the tilted roof to like try to
because there's a
kill
tilted roof, and I'm
people
like,
that are already
okay,
dead.
I'm just gonna throw this fucking grenade like off the roof and just like drop it right.
Spank shot
And I would have been fine. I would have been just do a little peggle action, and I knew I would have been safe because I was completely covered. But I started cooking the grenade, and then that's like my grenade was already in my hand when I was like, okay, I'm gonna try something risky. And then you had already killed them, and I didn't realize. And you're like, wait, they're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't drop this grenade now, so
Well,
I just
I
had
pulled
to,
the plug back.
I had to throw it up. And then the sad part about this is that the second we ran out of that building, there was a firing squad perched upon a ridge not far away from us, who
Basically, the
just completely
circle.
eviscerated us.
Yeah, the circle was like directly on a hill, and
they were on top of that hill.
They were on top of that hill, and we had to run up the hill, and they just had a firing squad
Yeah,
ready to gun us down.
It was the Battle of Bunker Hill, and we were the Confederates.
Yeah, but I was satisfied with what happened.
I don't know. Huh?
I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
I don't know.
historical
I have no
knowledge.
idea. Don't quote me on that.
I was happy with our performance up to that moment.
We had a good match.
Yes. The other one was a heated battle that was taking place towards the end. The circle was getting small. Less than 15 people left. We were in a house. Pretty good positioning. And then someone got a grenade through the window without us really knowing. And I got blowed up. So yeah, I got downed, and then I had to like limp over to Dane to revive me.
And I was like standing on a couch,
Yeah,
trying to
and-
like peek out the window.
Yeah, you were unsure whether to like revive me or not, because we were like, we have no clue where the guy that threw that grenade is.
My dilemma was that you got downed in the building, and he knew that I was in there too, because you didn't die. And so I was like, well, or he suspected the circle was so small at that point, like there was nowhere else you could have been, or one of us could have been. So then I was like, okay, do I revive you and risk like not being able to fight them when they come in, or like what's gonna happen? But then they engaged in a firefight with someone else.
Yeah,
at that
they
very
got
moment.
in a firefight, so I was like, this is the time.
So you're like, they're
Revive me
fighting.
now.
Revive me.
So it worked out, and then we didn't get like in another firefight in that house. So the circle moved again. I led the charge to. We didn't charge. We
circled out around the back of the house.
around the back of the house, and we had to be snakes in the grass next to a fence. So there's a bunch of houses, and then a fence, and then a grass field. And we're on the grass field side of the fence.
A large field.
Yeah, just crawling. And we were undetected, it seemed. And so we got to the edge of the fence, and to our left was a house, which the two remaining men were in. And then on top of that house, there was one additional man. So it wasn't the only two remaining men, but
One of them was
three.
by himself, and I took a gamble, and I thought the man on the roof must be by himself.
Yeah, so the man on the roof was by himself. Dane had a gun, which he used to snipe the man's head.
Yeah,
it wasn't
one
your
shot.
sniper.
No, it wasn't.
It was your M4.
It was my M4. Yeah.
So yeah, you did get him.
Yeah.
And then the two men were like, one was in the doorway, one was on the side of the house, and so we were like, do we get up? Like, do they know we're here? Dane fired, which is usually a bad sign, but we're not really sure what's happening. And then,
but we did take out the variable.
We did take out the one variable.
Yeah.
So it was us versus another team of two. So you do get up. We won't say whether or not it was a good choice.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. So I watched the replay, and it appeared as though he didn't know where you were.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. But
I thought he would have seen me when I just fired off. Like, I fired off like 2 shots and I killed the guy on the roof.
Because he was like peeking out from behind a wall, so it's possible he didn't see. It's possible he did see and was like not making it obvious. But
Did you have a flash hider on, or maybe?
I think I did, but like we were literally like we were so close.
We were very close.
We were so
to them.
close
Like,
to them.
right
that, like
outside
they
the
would have.
house.
They had to have known like
At
like
least
the exact direction that I was in for sure. Like there's no way that they would have missed that.
So yeah, Dane does get up, and then the guy sees him, starts firing. He destroys the fence. So luckily
There's no cover.
Yeah, there's no cover except for a shipping container, which I get behind, and then Dane is kind of also like farther away behind the shipping container, using that as cover. So we're just kind of in a firefight with these guys, like peeking out from cover, like exchanging like shots and stuff like that. And then eventually the dude just starts like lobbing grenades like there's no tomorrow. And
he throws them in like a pattern, so it's like in a row or something. So like I can't sit there.
Carpet bombed you.
I can't sit there and like shoot him. So I have to run. One of them goes off. It just sends me flying.
Yeah.
I'm still
it
alive.
sends you flying. You're still alive. You have like 10 health.
Like
Out
nothing.
of 100.
Yeah. And then I just turn around and I start just shooting like there's nothing else.
At this point, there's nothing you can do except fire and hope you kill one of them.
Yeah, and then
unfortunately you didn't. Which
but
is fine.
he was very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like 1 shot left to
Which
go.
probably allowed me to kill him. So now it's just me against the world. I look ahead. I see the guy that killed you. I am able to kill him. And as soon as that man goes down, behind me, there's a man with a shotgun and one blasts me to the head.
Yeah, and I'm
it's like a poetic scene where I'm just like...
And I'm on the ground, like, because I'm still alive. And I'm like crawling behind. I'm like, Coulter. No, Coulter behind you. And then as soon as like he takes the other one down, like I don't even know if you got a chance to turn around.
I didn't.
Okay,
the guy was so fast. As soon as you were down, he sprinted to flank me.
Yeah, and so then I just had to sit there and watch you get executed.
That's right.
And it was terrible.
That's savage.
But we got second place. It was a good match up to that point. I mean, that was a tough situation to be in. I might have fucked up. Look, I don't know.
It's okay.
I'm not sure.
It's impossible to know at this point.
Sometimes
I'm forgiving you.
In the heat of the moment, you panic a little bit.
Sure.
I don't know.
Listen, when you're like basically 1v like 2 right there, it's the first place, second place. You're getting down to it.
Your hands are shaking.
The stress sets in a little bit. You get a little
That's right.
shaky. That happens. Decisions may be made that are mistaken. It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you do your best.
I honestly can't
You try.
say whether it was a good choice or not. But anyway, we got real close. It was a fun match. I had fun.
I'm glad.
So
Yeah, that's basically it for that. Been playing some Rocket League, obviously. Excited about some new announcements that came out.
break it down. Actually, you already told us. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really going to break it down too much, but I am going to break it down with the fat beat. You know?
Whoa.
let's go, bro.
This is our new segment.
Let's fucking
This is our
go,
new segment, Coulter's Beat.
dude.
Yeah, so they're bringing tournaments pretty soon. Basically, like, within the game, they're going to set up little tournaments, single elimination, they specified, I guess, for who knows what.
Does
We
that
don't
mean
know
one
about
loss, you're
rewards
done?
or anything. Yeah.
So, are these tournaments for like pros, or can a scrub lord like me hop in somehow?
Scrub Lord like you may hop in, and they talked about not in this particular article, but in interviews, they talked about how you're going to be able to customize exactly the rule set and the type of people that you're like allowed to let join. So you can be like at a certain experience level, like I'm only letting legends or higher.
Are these
or like rank or this rank or higher?
Are these custom matches that people make, or are these
custom
like
tournaments? Yeah.
So like it's not like one day if I like go and sign into Rocket League, it's gonna be like, oh, here's like this X tournament happening, join if you want. Like it's like you'd have to be invited by someone, or I can join like a random one.
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if there's like super official ones and then like super casual ones, or if it's like only official ones or not. Yeah, I would prefer if it was like a fair amount of official ones.
Yeah, I think
with,
that'd
like,
be cool.
Yeah, even if it's not, like I'll still play it and like could be cool. Yeah, the other things they're rolling out within the next 3 months, it appears, cross-platform parties with I was about to say Wii U, Switch, PC.
Oh, Switch is included?
Switch is included.
Wow.
Xbox.
Yes, Xbox, everything except PlayStation, it will work fine. And then PlayStation, you can play with PC.
That's already been in there, though.
That's right.
But not the cross-party
well,
platform.
not parties.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's incredibly interesting. I don't know how many games have that, but
not many. I would say close
not a
to
lot.
0.
Yeah.
Basically, honestly, none I can think of have any sort of cross-platform. Like, that's such a rarity that like no game I know of does that.
The closest would be like Xbox and PC maybe for some of their for like Forza or something. But
Or
I don't know.
well, like PS4 and PC, like Xbox and PC, that kind of stuff works. Like, but
like PS4, PC for Final Fantasy, and things like that.
There's no like PS4, Xbox platform, nothing. Like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
And
is
it
a
sounds
shame.
like it's still
And
not
it still
going to
won't.
happen.
It never will because PlayStation refuses to budge,
Yeah.
and they won't.
Something interesting about that is how would they facilitate that unless there's a Psyonix ID system?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, can I reclaim my old items from my PS4 version of Rocket League?
That would be interesting to see if, like, okay, this is like your Rocket League account, which like some games do that already. Like Street Fighter 5 when it came out, you had to create your own online ID. You do that for like
Tekken or no,
not
Tekken.
quite Tekken, but because that's linked to your Steam account.
Yeah,
but like a game we'll probably talk about, like Dragonball FighterZ, you have to do that. You make your own like account. Like it's already in game, so I could see that happening. But like it's just on like one of the big companies' ends to do it, and they just won't. So it's kind of a shame, but it's doable.
We'll see if that takes place.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is farther out in the future, maybe in the summer or something like that, they're going to roll out new stuff for XP progression, which is like rewards for getting to certain ranks and like an extension of the basically level cap right now, because like the pros are obviously like at that. And yeah, new titles and stuff. And then there is a little line that says playing for decryptors, which decryptors are, if you don't know, free keys. In Rocket League, all the cosmetic items are locked behind crates, which can only be opened with a key that you pay for with real money. Decryptors...
$1.50.
It's $1. Yeah. It's different depending on... Or it's $1.50 if you buy one, but it's if you buy in a $5 increment, it's $4.99. Or 5 keys, $4.99. Anyways... decryptors are basically free keys. So they introduced them with the events. You can only get like at this point 5 free or 5 decryptors for playing. If they introduce that as like a new thing where you can just keep earning decryptors, that is an incredible step forward for not making people mad.
Yeah, like that's because even like PUBG is doing that now too with like their crates. Like, okay, well you have like. Here's a chance that you're going to get one that doesn't require a key. Here's one that does require a key that you have to buy. It's like, that's like, at least give me the opportunity. Like, let me buy it with the points in the game at least. Like, you guys have that ability to do that. Come on. Like, that's only fair. Like, at least Rocket League is getting there. It's kind of a shame that it took this long, but at least it's happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a very interesting little bullet point there for the future. Other than that, new maps, new like crates and stuff like that.
I hope for the XP thing that they change like the required amount of experience, because even right now I don't play it all that often, but like when you reach like hit like level 25, like 30, 35, like it starts taking ages to get one level. So like somewhere like they have to change that somehow if they want to like give rewards, I feel like. But
no specifics on that.
Then it's gonna be like Overwatch, where when Overwatch first started, it was like the first 15 levels or whatever, you could, if it was like a double experience or whatever, you could just like get 15 loot boxes super fast. But then once you get past like level like 30 or whatever it is, it takes like 4 million experience to level up, and then you never get another loot box again. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like
retroactive, or like if like
I would assume so.
Just if you're level 50, or I don't know what the level cap is, but if you're like a super high
75.
level, okay, yeah. So if you're at like a super high level, then maybe like they just give you all the rewards for each one. Like maybe it gets better as you go or something like that.
I could see that.
And then you just like go like collect present for level 56 or whatever.
Or maybe they'll just be like, hey, when you hit whatever like master rank or whatever like the tiers are, like you get this like special like title or decal or whatever it is. But we don't know, so
yeah,
we'll find out in the coming months.
Interesante.
Cool. That's it for me.
Dope.
All right.
Jordan, there were 2 big releases this week in the world of video games. Name one of them.
Is this a trivia?
No, just name one that you want to talk about.
I'll start with Dragonball FighterZ.
FighterZ. That's the correct pronunciation of it, we found out.
I mean, Bandai Namco themselves said that. So.
Okay.
It's not a mystery. They said specifically, don't call it FighterZ.
I thought it was FighterZ because the Z looks like it's separated.
Sure. I mean, it sounds better that way.
Sure.
Although, honestly, the whole name convention itself is bad. But
yeah.
Does Z have a Roman numeral?
Are you okay?
Is it used as in a Roman numeral?
I see.
Yeah,
not
like
sure.
could that be M is one,
No,
L is one.
I don't think Z is.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen Z, but it could be. I'm not an expert.
You guys
in
made me
Rome.
feel dumb there for a second.
I thought you were like.
No, I thought
it makes sense.
I was so confused.
The way you phrased it was confusing.
Sorry.
To me.
Yeah. I'm on board with you. And my answer is I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like probably not.
So yeah, one of the big games that came out. This is the one I played less of. But
Same.
Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, which is a fighting game from people who made like Guilty Gear and some other, typically known as anime fighting games because they're all very anime-esque games. But
Anime inspired.
yeah, but this one is Dragon Ball Z as a fighting game, and I've said before, I don't have any love for Dragon Ball at all. Really, I watched it when I was like little and saw episodes here and there, but I haven't watched to completion. Not that big of a fan. I don't keep up with it now, but like the way this game looks and just like the actual mechanics are so fun that I don't care that it's Dragon Ball Z, and I actually kind of like it because it makes me semi-interested in it. And also, I can't not like when in this game when you do like a finishing move or something like that, the finishes is so fucking ridiculous. Of either someone's either getting punched through like a building, the planet is either exploding, or you shoot like a Kamehameha so big that it pulls out from this like the fighting the arena you're in. It's specific to each area too. It'll just pull out, and it's just complete silence. All you hear is the wind blowing and the sound of like this giant beam just exploding to the distance. And like I said, I don't have any love for that. Yeah, you just hear like this sound, just like this of the beam in the distance. I'm like, damn, that's like fucking awesome. Because I just like literally blew some dude up. Like it's crazy to see that. So like that's really cool. But unfortunately, the game has like really the last like since launch has had really bad connectivity issues, which is like not what you want from a fighting game at all. Because like I've heard the story mode is good in it, and it kind of is. I've played a little bit of it, but I just want to play against other people. Like, that's how you get better. That's how I want to play. And it's been, like, a struggle for the last few days because you just, like, can't connect to people.
Also, their online lobby system is abysmal.
It's fucking really bad.
It's
so, like,
horrible.
I
feel like I'm playing a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah, and the thing is, in Guilty Gear, they had a system like this, except you could also just straight up invite your friend to play against you, like in a normal lobby, or you can join like the server lobbies and do the thing where you run around and see people. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, the first thing you see when you start the game is like 17 loading screens that pop up that say like joining lobby, joining region, joining like locale.
It's like Call of Duty.
It is, but seriously,
so
you
much
go
worse.
through 10 like flashing screens of loading screens over and over again, and then what happens at the end is that it'll join the actual lobby you're in, but then most of the time it's full, so it loads all the way in, and then it's just like, sorry, the lobby's full, and then you just have to pick one. It's like either A, put me in an open lobby, or B, just let me choose from the start, because you just wasted like it doesn't take that long, but having it every time the game opens, it's just like, what are you people doing? I'm like, the lobby system is neat because it puts you in with 64 people, and you're all running around in like these chibi version of Dragon Ball characters, and then like
That's cool.
yeah,
It's appealing.
It's neat. Like it's a neat little thing, but it's a fucking hassle to either A, get into a normal match with someone, or
Sorry there, Matt.
that's okay, don't touch me, or get into
Don't
a
do it
match
again,
with
Matt.
a friend. Like Dane and I were trying to figure out the first day we got it. Like, okay, like where's the invite friend to fight option?
And there isn't one.
It's not there.
There's no like private lobby system.
The way you do it is, first of all, you have to find the same lobby to join your friend in from the list of lobbies, which is not that bad, but it
Please
requires
don't make me
communication.
look at a list.
I
of
did
lobbies.
hear
There's a
that
ton.
right now there's a lot of issues outside of the US. Apparently in like the UK, they only have like 6 public
Yeah.
lobbies. So if you're trying to get an entire country
Mm-hmm.
to join a public lobby and there's only 64 people per lobby, do the math. It's not
Yeah.
going to work. So people literally can't play online.
It's
They can't.
really bad. And then when you get into the lobby, there's no way to either A, straight up go to your friend. Like, you have to meet in the lobby system, which, again, it's not that bad. It's not a huge area, but it's an encumbrance to do it. And then there's no easy way to just say, hey, Dane, join my lobby and fight. You have to create this thing called a ring match, which is another lobby inside the lobby. And you have to password lock it so random players can't join. Tell your friend the password. Have them come to your character and like act. It's so many fucking.
And
menus.
we did that, and it still didn't let me join.
And then also it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't function. So
sometimes
we're like,
it just doesn't work.
So we're just trying to
It's not
figure out like
sometimes.
how
It
the
literally
hell
hasn't.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell do I even get you in a lobby? I'm like, do we do arena match?
Yeah.
He's like, well, arena match is if you want to fight multiple people in the lobby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so we'll just do like world match or whatever. It's like, no, that's random matchmaking with people. And I'm like, okay, so how do we do fucking private lobby? And then we find out that it's ring match, where you basically create like an actual ring around your character, and you're sitting like in an area of the map, and someone else could just run up and try to join. So if you didn't have a password on it, if I was like, Jordan, I'm over near like the shop, and he comes over, and it's like, oh, sorry, fucking like Dingo Buttfuck, whatever his name is over here, is trying to like join my lobby.
and Dingo Buttfuck does join the lobby all the time.
Exactly, and so then you have to
you have
to put a password on. Yeah, Jiminy Jerison. So you have to put a password on it. And so then Jordan has to come over and type in like fucking 5694 or whatever, and then it just doesn't even let him join. So we're just sitting there and like we tried for like 20 minutes. It's like, well, we're not even.
And at this point,
I still haven't even gotten to play with you.
At this point, it still doesn't work. Like and it's just disappointing because the company that made this, like the Guilty Gear games, all have perfectly normal like shit to do. Like you invite your friend, or the other thing is that it's like a team fighting game like Marvel, so you choose 3 people. When you join a random match online, you don't just go to a character select screen. You have to build your team beforehand and like okay, I want to play as this person, this person, this person. Save that team loadout and then automatically lock into them before the match starts. So like if you play against someone online in a casual match, you are forced with that team. If you want to rematch them, you can't change characters. You can't like do anything like that. It's just like,
and you can't. Yeah, there's no way to like, which sucks in a fighting game, especially because I guess. For other people, it'd be like Overwatch. That would be like if you have to pick like your Overwatch team and go into matchmaking with it, and you can't switch like heroes to counter anyone. So it's like if you're fighting someone online and maybe you pick like a really slow character. I don't know, like it could be anything for a fighting game. Then it's like, okay, well this character would work much better. You can't change to it
because it's just like there's no way. First of all, you can't see the characters. You can't like. You don't get to look at the character in the character select screen or anything like that. And, like, I don't know the characters that well at all. Like, I know Goku and whatever, but it's like, I don't know half these people. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what their moves are. And you can't see that unless you jump into a match, which is just, like, starting out the game, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know if these characters are good. I don't know anything about it. And so, like, that is annoying to me, but... I've still been having fun in the casual matches that I've been joining. Like
the gameplay is fun.
It's fun and like it just looks so fucking ridiculous. Like every time, like one of the cool things is just like this is for like beginners. There's like auto combos, so you can just like mash like the square button and just do like a cool combo. And like when you finish it off, like it does like a special attack and it looks neat when you do that. So you kind of get the feeling like, oh okay, like I actually did like a cool combo. It's not like the most damage efficient one, but you look cool doing it, and that's goes a long way. But yeah, I've been training, practicing what I can. But again, the servers have been going down. PSN has been having issues over the last week too, which is just adding to the problems. But
Blizzard has been too.
Yeah, so
it's the Russians.
It is. They're trying to take down our video games.
That's right.
They're meddling.
That's right. They're meddling in our affairs.
But yeah, like I like that game a lot. I definitely need to play it more, but. Like, just honestly, one of the things I like is just the absolute ridiculous, like, animation. Like, the style, like, all the characters are 3D models, but on screen, they look like they're animated like they're 2D sprites. And, like, so it allows for, like, these really cool, like, when you're looking at the fight, just, like, in a normal fight, it looks like 2D. But then when you do, like, these ridiculous super moves, like, the camera can pan around and, like, show the character. And, like, that stuff is, like, it looks really cool.
It's pretty sick.
When you're watching it, I feel like I'm not a fan of DBZ either at all. I know Goku obviously and like Piccolo and like a few people, but like when you're just watching a match, like you can go on YouTube and just watch like a casual match or like watch a Twitch streamer or something. You're watching it, you're like, well, this is like virtually indistinguishable from the show. Like, it just looks like you're playing an episode of the show, which a lot of other games claim to have, but nothing like this.
Like, it's one of the reasons, like, why I didn't like Dragon Ball Z when I was watching it, and, like, now is, like, it takes fucking forever to watch the fight play out. I just want to see Goku do a Kamehameha and blow someone up, but, like, it takes 12 episodes to get to that, and here, it literally happens in one match of just, like, there's one combo that I was playing with Gohan, who's Goku's son. His special attack is he just stops and stands still, and then the camera spins around, he spins around, and just shoots a Kamehameha with Goku, and just explodes the planet. It's just, like... I was like, okay, I just won a match and blew up the planet at the same time. Fuck yeah, like that looks fucking awesome. Like, it just everything, all the special attacks.
Gohan is
insane.
a damn idol to me.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even liked Gohan, but fuck, man, he was really cool.
But damn that super.
But damn that's
his Kamehameha is called motionless Kamehameha, and he
motionless
yeah, he literally does that. He just stops and like stares at the camera for half a second, and then his hand just goes, and then he just shoots a Kamehameha. It's the dumbest looking thing ever.
So good.
But
they should add that to Overwatch with like when Farah does her basketball thing,
just like
Kamehameha,
just like explodes the.
But yeah, so I will play that game more once they get their online shit figured out.
It's unacceptable in this day and age.
Yeah, like...
I would say.
You kind of expect it on every online game, but it's just disappointing because they have a pedigree for their other games, which I think mostly it comes from that the other games weren't nearly as popular. Like, this game honestly like sold really well, and Dragon Ball Z has like everyone knows
massive
Dragon Ball Z,
following.
so this has way more players than I think they've ever been used to, which may account for some of it, but it's still...
They should have known.
They should have known, and it's just not acceptable.
It's one of the biggest anime or cartoon
Betrayals,
properties of all time. Biggest anime top 10 anime portrayals.
It's just ArcSys' online gaming infrastructure betrayed me. So, yeah.
Reminds me a little bit of Street Fighter V.
Same situation. Although it has like the offline story mode is actually like perfectly good in this game, which is like fun to see. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say it's actually quite good.
Yeah, I again, as someone who's not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, like I was watching it, like I listened to the cutscenes, they're all voiced, and I don't know if I think they're all like the original actors.
It is. I think it is.
So that's cool. Although one of the things that I didn't know, because again, I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan, the game defaults to Japanese, which normally I would prefer for anime. I just can't stand Goku's voice in Japanese. Like, I feel like in the U.S., you look at Goku and go, okay, he's like, I don't know, he's probably like a 20-something-year-old dude. He's not. He's a child. Like, the Goku with the big spiky hair is a child. And in the Japanese, he sounds like a very small, like, boy.
Well,
like,
because it starts, that starts from, it's like Naruto. Like, it's sort of, like, it stems from Dragon Ball, and where he is, like, 4 years old.
Yes,
or he's
but
like 3 years old or something like that.
Look at Naruto.
3 years old.
He's like a baby.
Yeah,
like,
he's a
they're
young
like
kid,
literally like,
but still,
he has like a babysitter.
But look at Naruto as a young boy. Like, okay, look, he's like a small like dude. He looks like a young
kid. Yeah.
Kid. Goku looks like a bulky giant man. Like, he's bigger than literally every person like in the entire series, and his voice just it's very just unsettling to hear him talk. So I just switched to English, which is really good. Like the DBZ characters all have.
That's been good for years.
Yeah, so that's fine, but it was just a weird thing. Like, oh, I normally really like the Japanese voices, but I can't listen to Goku. Like, everyone else is fine, but Goku's voice is just like it's oh god, you guys like have to hear it. It's really just unsettling.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z. We snuck a little bit of anime in there.
That's right. Now the other big release, arguably the bigger release. Definitely for us.
Yeah.
But probably in general, I think it's been getting a lot of steam, is Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
Jordan, I believe this was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said this was one of your most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, if you guys have listened to the PAX podcast.
The PAX cast.
E3
PAX
cast,
cast, sorry. E3. You will know I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, and I was excited for this one.
You sacrificed a day to play it.
I sacrificed hours of my life to play a 20-minute-ish demo, 15 minutes.
You don't regret it?
I don't regret it one bit because I liked it a lot. I played the beta when it came out last month, which was honestly what I did in the PAX demo, which is a little...
the beta.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of good items from that, so that was nice
good
of them.
for you.
But yeah, so this game came out exactly what I was hoping for. Zero disappointment at all. It's a fantastic Monster
So
Hunter game.
good.
Literally exactly what I was hoping for. I was like, is Monster Hunter really going to be, like, am I hyping it up for myself too much? Am I expecting too much out of this game? And then it comes out, I'm like, nope, this is literally exactly what I wanted. Like, this, like, nothing about this is disappointing me, except for, not necessarily, like, the online as well, but, like, joining with your friends in that game can be a little bit of a hassle too, like jumping through menus. Like,
That's cool to hurt us.
yeah, it's really like fucking, because for each mission you have to, for each player to join, they all have to watch a specific cutscene of the monster appearing, and so when you start a new mission, no one's seen it yet, so no one can join the mission together. So you have to each start the mission by yourself, go in, watch the monster appear, and then someone has to back out and join. Yeah, it
sounds really dumb.
It's really stupid,
frustrating.
But again, something you just. I have accepted at this point.
But it's worth it for the pure gameplay.
It is. Like, man, hunting monsters is just fucking awesome in that game.
For those who are uninitiated with the Monster Hunter series, like you, Coulter, maybe.
That's me.
Or just general listeners or viewers, Monster Hunter is a very... on paper, it's a very simple game. You're a monster hunter. There's a lot of big monsters out there. You gotta hunt them. As you hunt them, you collect pieces of their armor or their skin or their body in some way. That is usually randomly given out.
And you put them on your body.
And you put them on your body. You make
just stick
sick
'em on.
armors and make sick weapons. There's tons of weapons to choose from. They're all very technical and fun to play and use. Potentially changing a weapon would be like playing almost a different game.
Yeah.
And as you hunt these monsters, which are basically like, each hunt is basically like one long, sometimes very tough boss battle that you can take on with up to 3 other friends. You get better equipment and you fight better and bigger monsters until you're taking down the biggest and best monsters in the all. And it's, some would say it's a grind.
I mean, the grind is that you just, like, the point of that game, honestly, is like, okay, I just want to get sick armor. Like,
I just want to look dope.
Which we're all fine with.
Yeah, but also do it by, like, having these incredibly intense, like, encounters with these, like, sometimes smaller monsters, sometimes like they're like a building sized monster that you're like fighting by climbing over and stuff, and like the regular monsters you fight, like you're gonna fight a giant dragon, and like it's like
it can pick you up and throw you.
It can pick up other monsters in the middle of a fight. Like one of the special things in this game is that the world now is a world and it's open. In the other games, it was like you're in one tiny area and you have to like go to a loading screen. Yeah, because they were on like the DS and stuff, so. Not a lot of power there, but in this one, it's kind of an open environment, an open world, and there's a bunch of different monsters in there, and they'll just clash with each other, and like you'll just see
there's
this
like an ecosystem.
Yeah, like you'll be fighting this T-Rex monster who's very big, and then a dragon will swoop out of the sky, literally pick up the monster you're fighting, and just throw it
like
through the air.
Body slam it or something. Yeah, and you're just like, okay, well.
I was like, I'm just gonna stand back and watch because I can't do
we thought
anything.
we were fighting a hard monster, and then nature said otherwise.
And then the king of the jungle appears, and you realize that you're not fighting the big boss anymore.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's literally
Episode 1, Star Wars.
Every area you go to, there's always a bigger monster.
Very relevant Star Wars quote there.
Thanks.
It's good.
My favorite film.
Some would say the best film.
Darth Maul. I mean, you can't.
He's great.
You can't deny that.
Duel of the Fates.
Child Anakin is the best Star Wars character, best obscure character.
Young Annie.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter, and I won't stop. I gotta get to the.
Can't
top.
stop.
Won't stop.
That's right.
Shan't stop.
Shall stop.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of co-op.
Yeah.
Done most of the hunts together. There's nothing like the fights in Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
they're so thrilling.
Get ready for the fight of your life.
That's right.
Like each one, like I think one of our other friends Colin was like, oh well, like what kind of game is it? And like I was like, oh, this is like gonna be a very reductive way of putting it because it's kind of like shorting out what Monster Hunter is, but it's like if each boss you were fighting is like a Dark Souls boss, because you have to sit there, look at its patterns, and like, okay, this monster can kill me pretty quickly if I'm like careless. So you kind of sit back like, okay, it can do this attack, it can charge, it will like breathe fire, and like they all like
you'll do a tail sweep after its third thing,
but they don't feel like a static Dark Souls boss anymore because they're literally living in an environment. So like they'll be hunting like other things, they'll be like, if they get weak, they'll go back and hide in their nest or something like that, and like those things make it feel like you're fighting a real like dynamic animal and not just like a video game monster, and like it's really cool.
Yeah, and like that is a good way to put it, because it is basically like it has the intensity of a Dark Souls boss, but in a more like realistic kind of like. It's not just like they're waiting in an arena and you walk in, then you're gonna get your ass kicked for like 10 minutes.
Like they're flying around a mountain, like they're breaking like rocks and like causing like. There's like one area where like you're on top of a mountain fighting a dragon enemy, and he hits like a dam and just causes water to just cascade down. And like when Dane and I were fighting it, and this is just completely unscripted, it was very weak, but it hit the dam, broke through the water, it came like crashing down, and the dragon got caught up in the water, flew down a waterfall, and as it hit the ground, it died. It just like
and
it
then
just
we had
flew
to run
off
and
mountain.
jump off the waterfall to go.
Like just
like,
that was when I did my jumping slash. It just like jumped off the
Jumping
top
slash!
of a waterfall and just flew all the way down to like this
Dragon Twister.
Like those kind of just like random things happen all the time, because none of the fights in that game are scripted at all. Like
it's just like they're in this environment, go find them.
Yeah, and like just things happen, and like it's fun.
Things happen? Are you fucking kidding me?
Things happen in that game.
Right. A lot of things happen.
I'm gonna need to get this game, man. Things happen, man.
What was I gonna say? Damn it.
I'm not sure.
Fuck. It was kind of about Dark Souls.
Shit.
Fuck. I forget. But yeah, though that game is, it's easy to come back to because it is in like I said, in some ways it's a grind, because you're like, wow, I just hunted this monster 3 times. I didn't get the plate I needed. Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. I'll just completely throw out what I was saying right now.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Don't want to hear it.
Put that one off to the side.
Yeah. The monster doesn't have a health bar. So you don't know how much. You don't know like how much damage you do know how much damage you're doing, because in this game they actually added damage numbers. I don't think that was in the other games.
No.
So like you'll hit a monster and you'll be like, okay, I did 57 damage, and you're like, okay, what does that mean? And they don't ever tell you like the full like pool of health that it has, but you can kind of surmise based on their behavior. So like a particularly armored enemy, if you chop off like the armor on its leg or like its tail or something, you can like injure that part so that they'll like limp away, and you'll be like, okay, he's like, we've done a shit ton of damage to like his left leg, let's go for his right leg or whatever. And it's a very realistic way to put it. And you can also in a fight you can never just be like, oh, I'll sit back and like just like pussy around this guy because he only has like 10% health. You don't know, and he's also like doing crazy shit the whole time. So you have to like give it your all for the entire fight.
And they do signify, like I said, like if the monster's weak, it'll be limping away back to its nest or something. But when it gets back there, like it's not like it'll like go to sleep or something if you catch it there like off guard and attack it, but it's not like immediately over when you do that. Like it will get up and go like berserk or some shit like that. Like it is fighting for its life at the end. It's like, okay, this monster is literally an animal like trying to just survive, and it just goes crazy.
Like one of them will just like literally jump on the walls and like fly around the thing, and you're just like, what the fuck is this the guy doing?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff is really cool. And also there's like you're saying, you can like break the parts off the monsters. It's like, okay, this monster's tail has like a poison. Like when it hits you with the tail, it will poison you because it has like a poison tip or whatever. If you attack the tail long enough, you can like cut it off and sever it. The attack will not poison you anymore because it doesn't have a tail anymore, so it can't do that.
Yeah, so if you go in like unprepared and you're like, well, shit, like this poison is doing a shit ton of damage to me. Let's focus on that tail and knock it off.
And, like you can do that for like a bunch of different monsters. Like one of them that we just fought is like this monster will burrow underground and charge at you or hit you with like its tail, which is basically like this like mace. Like chop it off. It can't do that anymore. If you like stab it, like cut its horns off, well, it's not going to be able to charge. Like it doesn't do as much damage anymore. Like that kind of stuff is fun to do because it actually helps you, and you get parts for it when you do that. So you get bonuses on both ends.
It's a fun game.
I enjoy it a lot.
It's addicting.
There's also a bazillion monsters to hunt. So
it's true. It's Monster Hunter. It's the Monster Hunter game I've always wanted to play because it's not hindered by being on a very small and underpowered console.
I'm not playing on a 32 pixel screen, and I can actually see what my character looks like now.
The cool thing on the 3DS though is that when you were playing that, they still had good animation and like the armor still looked dope. So you could be like, wow, I could imagine this looking really cool on a PS4. It looks fine on the 3DS.
And honestly, it was kind of impressive on the 3DS too to like see those monsters.
60 frames.
Like the monsters on the 3DS are like scaled wise, like they're just as big as like, wow, that's actually kind of cool to see like this gigantic monster you're fighting like on there. But
it was impressive.
The detail is much better on this one.
Yeah.
Though I will say, I'm playing on PS4 Pro. I am upset at how the game, like I knew this getting into the PS4 Pro of like the certain games will let you choose like, do you want to prioritize resolution or frame rate, or in this game, this is the only one I've seen this, it's like prioritize graphics, which is like the worst possible description you could use for a game, but because it doesn't clarify anything. But like The resolution one runs like not garbage, I would say, but when you are
It's
fighting
like
with
wet garbage.
when you're fighting with 4 people and against a monster, the frame rate drops horribly. It's like, okay, I bought a PS4 Pro for the exact reason to not have this, but like, so I'm forced to play in the frame rate mode, which is like 1080p, but runs at not 60 frames. It's like 45-ish frames, and still will drop at some points if it gets too chaotic. It's like, okay, like
Interesting.
I see games like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is by and large one of the best looking games on the PS4. If it can run like 4K, quote unquote,
It's 4K solid
30 frames.
Solid 30 frames.
Like,
Very
why
solid
can't
30
Monster
frames.
Hunter, like, someone should have put a little bit more effort into making that like functioning. But
They still could patch it.
they could. I think
they
mostly
should.
it's due to that the game runs uncapped 30 frames. So it's like if they just left it at 30 frames, it would be fine. But they're like, I don't know, let's just let it just wander around. And so like it's just clipping like all over the place, and it's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because the resolution mode looks fantastic, but
It does look really good.
it doesn't play great.
That's right. Yeah. So 2 fun games releasing on the same day. They released on the same day actually, which is odd.
420.
That's right.
They
$69.
released 420. We went into the future.
And we came back.
And we got an old game in the future.
Turned out the future wasn't so good.
Listen, there's not a lot of games coming out on 420, so
God
The
of
only one
War.
that matters is Nintendo Lab.
yeah.
Teneo Lab, yeah.
Lab.
God of
Is it
War,
God of
Nintendo
War?
Labo, yeah.
Oh, that's true. Wow, I really take that back. I'm very excited for God of War. There was a new trailer that dropped for God of War. This was actually last week, I think. That game has quickly soared to the top of my most anticipated this year. It's number 1.
Wow.
It
I
looks,
will play it.
It looks very good.
I will probably play it.
I'm definitely going to play that game. I'm very excited for it. I love the God of War games. Never cared about the story. Kratos was a bad character. The gameplay was awesome. This looks like everything I want out of a rebooted, sort of ish God of War. Good story, excellent graphics. The gameplay still looks really good.
I mean, we don't know if the story is good or not.
Well, from what I've seen,
It's more story-focused.
It's very intriguing. The story is I'm actually interested in what's
It's about
happening.
a dad and a son.
That's right.
It's literally Sony's go-to like cookie cutter build for a game now.
It's Last of God of War.
Yeah.
Yes. Two.
That's the thing that is honestly making me a little hesitant. It's just like I look at it and go, okay, like everything looks great. Like the graphics look incredible. I'm sure it plays fine. It doesn't look, although the combat doesn't look like God of War as it used to. So I'm not super sure on that. But this is just Sony's big game. Like it's not original at all though.
Yeah, I watched an interview where they were talking about the combat, and it does look good. It doesn't. They took away the combo counter. There's no combo counter, and it's more. They said it's more deliberate than
Dark
before.
Souls.
Probably, but it looks good from what they're saying.
They just like describe everything except saying it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They were saying that like.
When someone says the combat is deliberate, they're aping Dark Souls.
Yeah, but I don't know if they actually said that like exactly, but that's pretty much what they were saying when they were describing how it works. Like, he has that new axe now, which is like he doesn't have his chains supposedly, or they haven't shown his chains. Just fixing my shawl here. They haven't shown his chains, but they showed the axe that he has, and the gimmick is that he can throw it sort of like Thor's hammer, or like do
Thor's
anything
hammer.
with it. A la Thor's hammer.
Alas.
A la Thor's hammer, and then he can just call it back to him. So they did show off some combos where he was like, it still looked like God of War and like sort of ridiculous how he's like swirling around the axe and everything and doing all kinds of crazy shit. But then they showed a lot more of like hand to hand, like fighting for your life type stuff, because he's still fighting against mythical creatures and beings.
Mythical boys.
So that's right. I don't know if we'll see anything quite as epic as God of War 3, where he just rips off limbs and arms and heads of gods, but we'll see.
I doubt we'll see too much of that.
I don't think we'll see anything
We'll
like...
probably see a little bit.
I think we'll see a lot of violence. I don't know if we'll see anything quite over the top,
Yeah.
like in God of War 3, but we'll see. But I am very excited for that game.
All right.
And as one quick end note, next week I will be talking about Shadow of the Colossus.
That's... Oh, yeah.
The
I actually
remake
should have
master.
mentioned that. That comes out this...
6th. I
We'll
actually
know
don't
that
know when that
it won't
is.
be out by the next podcast.
All right.
Because it comes out...
Podcast.
It comes out the Friday after
Okay.
the next episode. It comes out on the 6th, I believe. Yeah, that game... Have you seen footage of that?
Yeah, I mean a little bit.
It looks incredible. It has the same. I mean, you can tell it's Shadow of the Colossus, but when they showed it, like the latest trailer that I saw wasn't even like, I don't even think it was a trailer they released. It was like a little spot on YouTube or something. And it was like a 30-second commercial, but it shows like at the very beginning, it's like, experience the classic or something like that, and it shows the PS2 version, and you're like, that looks cool. Like it looks bad now.
I mean, quite frankly, it's the PS2 version like now doesn't look fantastic.
No,
but running on a PS2, that game is like an incredible like technological marvel.
No, it is.
It's actually a fantastic looking game on the PS2 when it came out.
So seeing it now, you're like, oh, that doesn't like look how I remember, because you always like. You have that like the nostalgia goggles where you're like, oh yeah, Ocarina of Time looked great, and then you look at it now, it's like, wow, I can't even see Link's fucking shoes. But then, but when for Shadow of the Colossus, they show it, and you're like, oh, that doesn't look so good. And then they show the PS4/PS4 Pro remake, and it looks phenomenal. Like the forest that they showed off, and like all like the fur on the Colossi, things like that, just looks real good.
Shadow of the Colossus
very good.
Is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
and I will play this game.
Yeah, I played it somewhat recently, unfortunately, so it's like not... I kind of wish I would have waited until the PS4 version came out to play it for the first time, but I would get fun out of it still.
Was reading some stuff about some people having, like, not an issue, but, like, making the, like, statement that, like, a lot of people who haven't played Shadow of the Colossus before are going to be playing this one for the first time. And it's like, okay, we're in a weird spot where some people will be like, wow, this game is like fucking incredible. Like Shadow of the Colossus is like a great game, but they won't realize or like don't like the old game is like lost in the past now because no one will be able to remember it or like have that same experience when it came out in like 2005 or whenever. It's like, okay, it's kind of an interesting like thing.
What do you mean? Just like as it was?
Like, yeah, like no one will understand like right now, like the game looks great, but every game looks great when it comes out. Like we just talked God of War, like every game that comes out on Sony's like first party stuff or whatever looks like a fantastic game. But like you're not going like looking and going, wow, like this is like a technological like masterpiece or like it's a marvel. It's even running on a PS4. It's like, of course it is, because every game does, you know. It's like, okay, this PS2 is like when it came out, when it did, like when you played it like back then, you're like, this is like literally a masterpiece of a game, and also it's just like technologically impressive that's even running on it. Granted, I do remember on the PS2 it ran like crap, but it still looked nice. So like some people was like, okay, you know, like people are losing like the context of the old game and
I see what you mean, but I think you could make that argument for every remake and remaster.
I mean, sure, but
to a certain extent,
not all of them are as impressive as Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. That is interesting. I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up because I've never played through it all the way.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters, honestly. Like, I don't think that... Like, I'm not going to have, like, some sort of, like, purist, elitist ideas. Like, oh, you didn't play the original one? Like,
you didn't play it on the PS2?
It's like, it's literally the same game. Like, you're going to get the same thing, but you probably won't be like, wow, like, when I played it when I was young, I was like, this is, like, the, like, craziest looking game I've ever seen. Like, because, like, the fur on the monsters, like, that was still in that PS2 game. It's like, it was done in, like, a really weird, like, roundabout way to make it look like that, but you could still, like, see that. Like, that was one of the first times I looked at a game and went, wow, like, this is like a huge, like, crazy environment. It was empty, obviously, but it was still cool seeing that kind of stuff. But like the like marvel of it is, I think, a little bit lost in the new version, just because we've seen that kind of stuff before. But I still think the game itself and like the story and everything about it will hold up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know very little about it. I know that you kill big things.
You kill big things.
Wait, so how much have you played of it?
I played the demo on the PlayStation Magazine disc, I think, that had 2 monsters in it. Or maybe it only had the first one. I don't know. Are they in order?
Just the first one, yeah.
The guy with the big hammer? The one they show in all the... Like, the big club?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Not really. Like, the first one is, like, a small guy that you, like, find that's, like, not that big, but you, like... go up him and he's like,
I just remember in the
demo
cliff. he slams down his thing and then you have to jump on that and climb up to him.
Yeah, no, that's not the middle
ones.
Yeah, that's like third or second or something like that.
Yeah, so like I did that one, and then I think I want to say I did have the game on my PS2. I probably only did like, I remember there was like a flying one. I don't know. I didn't do a lot of
late. Yeah, anyway,
I don't remember.
You haven't played them all.
No, I haven't. I don't remember. I've done a few of them, maybe like 2, 3. So, and I don't really remember. Cool. So it'll be a fresh experience for me.
Yeah,
I'm excited. It's also only $40.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm happy that they're not trying to fuck us with, like, gouging the price.
This is probably like one of the few games I've played multiple times. I probably played like 3 times on the PS2. I played it when it came on the PS3 again on like whatever that remaster was. I'm like, I will play this one again, and I've enjoyed it every time I played it.
I wonder if it'll come out on the PS5.
100%. Every game that released now will be on the next console again.
Probably.
If we ever reach that point.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I almost forgot about it. Thank you.
No problem.
I had a stroke.
I was like, I barely understood what you said.
I said I almost forgot about that.
Like, oh,
I'll
thank-
that.
and then you said
Don't
thank
make
you.
fun of
I was
it.
like, wow.
I had a stroke. Yeah, that is gonna be fun. Okay. Any other video juegos that you guys can think of? No.
No.
Okay.
Change the battery.
Cool. I think it's that time.
It is that time. It's your time.
Where the fuck is it?
Behind you.
What?
Behind you.
Yeah, it's a mile away.
That's right.
Your body's breaking.
Coulter, I'll wait for you. So about those Seahawks.
Yeah. So about that Shadow of Colossus. On my ranking of games of all time,
I was gonna ask where that would fall. Tentatively.
Probably 3rd place, maybe.
What's number 1?
I might go with Persona 3.
Not Persona 4.
1st place and 2nd place for sure, but
Okay.
depending on the mood that I'm in that day, they could change.
Look, Persona 3 is very dark. Persona 4 is also very dark, but it's also a little more... It's very cheery.
It's more cheery.
Yeah, it's more cheery. It's more cheery, certainly, than the 3rd one. Certainly lots of dark.
Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus, honestly, like, when I played it when I was younger, it was the first game I ever remember, like, when I finished it, I was just, like, literally, like, in awe. I was like, I've never played a video game that was that, like, impressive, like, or that just, like, drastically different than anything I've ever played. It's like, oh, I'm used to playing, like, Jak 2 and, like, Kingdom Hearts and, like, granted, those are all good games.
Clam.
But literally none of them are, like, a cinematic experience, like as, like, thoughtful as Shadow of the Colossus was when it came out.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Alright.
Genuinely excited to play that. Guys, in my hand right now, if you're watching the damn video, you can see this little blue bag.
The damn video.
This blue bag, and inside this blue bag is the Wacky Film List. The Wacky Film List, as we mentioned before, is a list of what was once maybe around 50 films, now down to probably in the realm of 30, random movies that we either want to see, that we've been told by others we need to see, that we've told each other we have to see. We put it in this fucking bag, and we reach in and we pull a movie out. We watch it. You can watch it too. We talk about it. You can join in if you want.
Where can they find the list?
You can find the list in a few different places. At our website, itsnotsosubtle.com. You can find it pinned on our tweets page at It's Not Subtle on Twitter. It's Not So Subtle on Twitter.
Thank you.
You can find it... Those are the 2 main places.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
If you contact us, we can send you a letter with the instructions on how to get
send
there.
you a
as well.
fax.
We can send you a
Yeah,
physical
if you-
copy of it if you want it.
That's right. Signed.
Signed. That will cost you
In
money.
my own blood.
Oh.
God.
Can we add all the Purge movies?
Yes.
To the toilet? Yeah. Coulter, give me a song here.
That's a sound.
I got the right movie!
What is that? It's really
Texas
long.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Cool. This is the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
That's right. No Rob Zombie. I don't even know if it's Rob Zombie. No,
Probably was.
No
I think so.
new age bullshit. All right, I'm talking the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Tejas Chainsaw Massacre.
I can't fucking put. I'm gonna put
Someone
it.
ha!
I actually saw recently someone was like on Twitter was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this dumb thing where like one like and I'll tell you my favorite movie." They put this movie on there at one point, not in any particular order, but they're like, "Oh, this is a good movie. It holds up even like it has like some effects or like practical stuff that holds up even that movies today don't do." So I was like, "Oh, that's neat to see."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna see a lot of death.
I enjoy
Yeah.
horror films. I enjoy slasher films.
I do
This
too.
is that with a chainsaw.
But
Let's
I
go.
don't enjoy older-ish movies, especially
That's right.
older horror movies. I hope this one changes my mind.
This may hold up. You never know.
I
I
never
guarantee you it will be a little bit slow.
know. Yeah,
Probably.
And that can be fine as long as it's somewhat interesting. Like
Sure.
it doesn't have to have a kill every second, but I want something to happen, you know.
Sure.
A child must be killed.
A child.
Chekhov's child.
This is actually a prequel to Children of Men.
That's right.
It turns out that the world isn't infertile. He just killed all the.
Just everyone's dead. Is the thing.
Guys, we've picked the movie. Next week we're gonna watch it. You have pretty much exactly a week to watch it, and then join in the conversation next week. I think that might be it for the episode, guys. Is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that you want to throw in? Video games?
No.
Something about Texas Chainsaw Massacre? No. Something about Kermit?
No.
Kermit's,
Kermit is
where
here.
is he? You can probably see something happening here, but what is it?
All I see is a
We
pair
don't
of
know.
eyes.
I'm gonna poke him in the eye.
Woo! Woo, baby boy.
Pair of
And maybe in his
beautiful
little
eyes.
mouth. Oh,
Ugh.
I like that.
and you can probably see this too.
I don't like that. Alrighty. Well, guys, that does it for episode 28. If you want to talk to us about anything that we've talked about today, if you want to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you want to talk about Children of Men, if you want to ask us how we're doing,
Please do.
go ahead. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Pop us an email at itsnotsosubtle@gmail.com. Pop us a little tweetsies on the Twitter sphere at itsnotsosubtle. You can find us at our website at itsnotsosubtle.com. Find us on-
www.
That's right.
Don't forget
HTTP.
://
That's right. You can
Secure.
also find us on the Twitches if you want to watch our streams. Coulter's been upping his stream game, as you can see with this background that
That's
will
right.
possibly be transformed while he's streaming.
It's a volcano.
That's right. It's the dancing chimney sweeps from
And
Mary
now it's
Poppins.
Cantabite.
Whoa!
No,
we're not
take
doing
us away,
Cantabite.
take us
No,
away.
we're leaving. Switch it to something else. Anything. A graveyard. Which is
at
what the
those
Star Wars film
llamas.
franchise will soon be.
If anyone can make us a sick background that we can put, like a 3D background of
That's
like
right.
a sick ass, like we're living in a mansion,
Yeah.
or like a futuristic, like
Yeah,
hotel.
I would be okay with like a skate park, and like people skating in the background. That's so fucking rad, dude.
What?
Like if people
A
were
skate
fucking
park.
skating in the background, that'd be fucking
that was
sick.
the last thing I
Yeah.
imagined.
No,
hearing.
and then like think about this, right? When
Some
we
fucking
do
Tony
Hawk's skate
when we
park.
do our plugs and we're like at It's Not So Subtle on Twitter, Twitch, like the website. That guy could be like jumping off the half pipe with his sick board, just like
Yeah, but- and
going
then-
up, and then it flash.
Yeah, on the back of his board.
On the back
Oh,
of his board,
fuck.
and then the links are there.
Okay, I'm in. All right.
That'd be-
We're at a skate park.
They went to fucking
What a skate park.
It'd be so fucking lit, dude. Yeah, if you
Futuristic
wanna,
skate park.
that's
Yeah.
right.
I'll meet you in the middle.
Hoverboards. Yeah, we can compromises. All great relationships
Yeah,
are built
this
on
isn't gonna
compromises.
happen.
Like
Look,
the Jack 2 hoverboard skate stuff.
fuck yeah, dude. Actually, I don't even like the design of that hoverboard that much. But
bad.
we'll not. Well, I don't want to talk.
Let's get into it.
Guys. So if you want to talk to us collectively, you know where to go. I just told you. If you want to find me anywhere, really, you can find me at Lane to Point.
Oh my god!
Yuck.
At Lane to Point on
Well, you're gonna
Twitter,
have to censor
Instagram,
that.
Twitch.
Just take us out of here. Ugh.
You can also find me on Pornhub. Maybe I'll suck my thumb for you on there.
Yeah, stop.
Damn.
I'm grossed out.
Infantilism at the highest
Coulter.
order.
Where can people find Jordan?
You're
on-
regressing.
They can find Jordan at the Killamilla
Let's do each other's. Okay, go.
Okay.
on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch.
He also runs a blog that he's not
That's
been
right.
utilizing recently.
No.
It's an anime blog.
It is. How do you spell it?
You could go to Tenzo-Taicho, which
You don't
am
know
I
how
going to spell it?
Do you know how to spell it?
TENZOU dash.
No, you.
Sorry.
Just an O.
Tenzo doesn't have the U at the end.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Dash.
Dash TAICHO.
You.
U. Oh, there's the U.
Yeah.
I knew there's a U.
Yeah.
You guys like spoke at the same time right there. That was
mostly
That's
got it.
right.
You mostly got
So
it.
that was pretty good. Now, Jordan, where can people find Kermit on? No, where can people find Coulter?
At official Kermit on Twitter.
That's right.
Coulter Potter.
That's right. At Coulter Potter.
At Coulter Potter on everything.
Pretty much everything. Yeah.
Mostly.
No, you've
Twitter,
said that.
Twitch.
Now it really is everything because of Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Those are the big boys.
I'm proud of you guys. You took the curveballs I was throwing at your way, and you made it.
You did.
You made
It's not the first time we've done this.
That's right. Well, I think that's it.
It's not our
guys.
first rodeo.
That's right.
My
Guys,
name is Greedo.
I had fun.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
You're
Guys,
welcome.
what do you think of the new set? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
down below.
shoot us. Actually, do let us know though,
If you want us to go somewhere special, just tell Coulter and we'll be
and he'll make it happen.
That's right.
If you want to see us in a skate park, because I know you do, because it's fucking sick. Go ahead and we'll have a little poll down below, and the only option is yes, and just go ahead and click it.
Send us vids of sick ollies.
Yeah, some fucking board slide 350s, dude.
Yeah, that backside goofy slide.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Goodbye, gentlemen.